Chapter 405. When Fatihai met up with Lin In, Anna, Shuetan Lang, and Prince of Tian Luo. Following the claw marks left by Huitai Lang along the way, they left the Fire Palace and headed towards the Earth Palace. Yu Yang patted the King of Earth's shoulder and comforted him. Winning or losing is a small matter. A man should be able to accept and let go. How about this? I'll leave all 5,000 coyotes, sand spiders, and other beasts for you. They're all your little brothers. Why would I take them away? I was just scaring you just now. Also, I don't want the 10,000 gold ingots that I won from you. You know, I don't lack money, but the treasures that I won from playing plane jumping, 5 in a row, and 3 passes by the well with you just now can't be lacking. Especially the heart of the earth that I won against you in Who Pees Farther. You still have to give it to me. A man can't go back on his words. Of course, I also know that you're not that kind of person. I've long heard from the 10,000-year-old ancient tree that you're a professional gambler who keeps his promises. The King of Earth even had the intention to commit suicide. He was very regretful. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have competed with this brat to see who could pee further. He didn't think that he would still lose in the end. The Heart of Earth was the Earth Palace's treasure. Whoever fused with this thing would have the ability to absorb unlimited energy from the ground. Such a rare treasure actually lost in a competition of who could pee further. The King of Earth really couldn't take this blow. Fortunately, the other party still had some conscience and didn't take away the coyotes, sand spiders, rock-horned lizards, earth-drilling snakes, and other beasts. Otherwise, he would be left alone. Yi Kong, the Oxhead fan Luan Tai, the Oxhead Party leader Li Ao, the 4 Orc girls, the Iron Bloodguard's leader, and the group of mercenaries were all staring blankly at the scene, unable to regain their senses. Never in their dreams would they have thought that the invincible King of Earth in the Earth Palace would actually end up in such a tragic state. All right, take out the Heart of Earth. I know it's very important to you, but you've still lost after all. How about this? Aren't you bored? I'll let more people come in to play with you in the future. Those guys are all pig heads. They'll definitely lose if they play rock, paper, scissors with you. I guarantee that you'll win, just like how you beat that idiot Yi Kong. Also, you definitely don't know that I'm an expert in heaven runes. Your bald head, shoulders, chest, arms, and knees, I could draw a heaven rune circle on them. Do you want a diamond body? I have a way. Yu Yang didn't hesitate to spin to get the King of Earth. You true? To the King of Earth, the diamond body was really a temptation, and the heaven runes made his heart palpitate even more. If I don't give you a diamond body, I won't be able to show off my abilities. Yang Yang's Tian's king, Yang Yang and said Tun Jin, Yang Tian Tian Tian, Yang Yang Tun, Yang Dragon, Yang said. Yang, Tian Ling, Tian Dragon. Translator Yang King Yang. Lu Yen. Yang, Yang, Dong Tian Yang S Yang Tian Tians. His hands were trembling, and he didn't dare to look. He passed the Heart of Earth to Yu Yang. Yu Yang, on the other hand, moved faster than the speed of light. He quickly kept the Heart of Earth and put it back into his grimoire world. At the same time, he ordered the barbarian Cow Shadow Man to fuse the Heart of Earth into her body, not giving the King of Earth any chance to regret. What kind of treasure was the Heart of Earth? For flying beasts, it was of little value. But for beasts that weren't good at flying and were good at fighting on the ground, it was the best of the best. It was unparalleled and unparalleled. Beasts that had fused with the Heart of Earth would be immune to all Earth-type attacks, such as sand-burying, earth-concealing, landslide, sandstorm, and so on. They wouldn't be harmed at all. They could absorb all Earth-type energy, such as Earth-type magic crystals, ores, gems, and so on. All Earth-type puppet beasts, such as rock puppets, stone silk snakes, mountain giants, and so on, wouldn't have any hostility towards them. The most important thing was that beasts that had the Heart of Earth would be able to absorb the Earth's energy continuously as long as they stood on the ground. They would never run out of energy. The Bloody Queen Red might not be very effective if she used it, because she mainly fought in the air. However, once the barbarian Cow Shadow Man fused with the Heart of Earth, she would definitely become a female barbarian cow who would never stop fighting. In the grimoire world, under the envious gazes of the bloody Queen Red and the golden-crowned thorny flower Queen Duo, the barbarian cow shadow on man started to absorb and fuse with the heart of Earth. This treasure might need a lot of time to completely fuse with her, but once it was fused, the barbarian cow shadow would level up to become a 2-star holy beast. Her strength would increase exponentially, and she would become a female barbarian cow who would never tire. She would become a nightmare of all her enemies. There was nothing more terrifying than a guardian beast that could fight on the ground and had the Doom's eyes and trample skills obtaining the heart of Earth. The female barbarian cow who would never tire. Even the great emperor of Ji-Wei, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince would feel their scalps go numb when they heard this. Of course, in order to obtain this, Yu Yang had sacrificed a lot. Other than racking his brains to win against the King of Earth, Yu Yang had even thrown out heaven runes and diamond body as an exchange in order to coax him to take out the treasure. In Yu Yang's eyes, everything could be exchanged. As long as he could obtain the heart of Earth, anything could be negotiated. After spending half a day and wasting countless innate chi on the King of Earth's head, shoulders, chest, back, arms, and knees, Yu Yang drew the heaven rune pattern on it. He left the heaven rune balance in between the King of Earth's eyebrows, diamond in its heart, and energy storage in its navel. With the help of these 3 heaven runes, the King of Earth body would gradually turn into a diamond. When the diamond body was completely formed, its battle power would probably increase by at least 10 times. As for whether it could become a diamond ranked, Yu Yang felt that the chances were not high. A diamond body did not equate to a diamond ranked body. One was the body, the other was the realm. It was the same logic as an item made of gold was not a gold-ranked treasure. The best time for the King of Earth to become a diamond-ranked beast had passed. If there were no accidents, it could only continue to increase its battle power. Its rank and level were probably fixed. Even so, the King of Earth with a diamond body would probably be an invincible existence even in the Earth Palace. Seeing that Yu Yang had given it all these, the King of Earth's mood became a little better. Golden light flashed. After Yu Yang used his innate chi to connect all the rune circles, the King of Earth's body gradually changed. The original rock body gradually condensed into diamonds. Although it was not much, with the passing of time, the King of Earth's body would definitely become diamond stone. Many people could not help but shiver at the thought of a King of Earth that was 50 meters tall and weighed a few hundred tons of diamond. Fortunately, this King of Earth had always stayed in the Earth Palace. If it ran out, even the golden mammoth, Battle Kodo, ancient behemoth, and even the black hell dragon would run away with their tails between their legs. When Fatty Hai and the others found Yu Yang had already turned the King of Earth's subordinates into rock giants with gold, silver, and bronze bodies. Not only that, Yu Yang also instigated the King of Earth. Listen, my friend, you will collect taxes here from now on. Do you know what taxes are? You will collect toll fees from every adventurer that passes by. Don't worry, this is definitely legal. Think about it. You're the owner of this place. If you don't even collect toll fees and let them leave, wouldn't you lose face? Of course, collecting toll fees is one of them. Aren't you usually bored? When you have money, you can gamble with them. Take note, don't bet on anything else. Don't bet on the sand wolves and sand spiders just like you did just now. They can lose your treasures, but you must leave your subordinates and treasures behind. Yes, you're very smart. It seems like you completely understand what I mean. When you have treasures, I will come back to exchange with you. I am currently studying heaven runes. Believe me, as your most sincere friend, I will definitely not lie to you. Oh, Jin, the Iron Blood Guards, and the others were sweating profusely. Fatty Hai and the others nodded their heads furiously, proving that Yu Yang was a good boy. He would even help an old lady cross the road on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but only on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday would he commit murder, arson, and rob. Everyone looked on, not daring to make sound. The reason was simple. Even an idiot wouldn't know that offending Yu Yang would be worse than being beaten to a pulp by the King of Earth's fists. Hui Tai Lang reported the battle at the Fire Palace to Yu Yang and handed over the 2 fire eye stones from the prison Flame King's eyes to his master. It received Yu Yang's affirmation and praise. As for the spirit of earth fire, she was like a little kid stealing candies to eat. She would suck a mouthful of energy from the earth fire magic flame ball from time to time and secretly look at Yu Yang's reaction. Seeing that Yu Yang didn't object to her doing this, she would secretly suck another mouthful. Her behavior was a little like Yu Shuang, who was secretly licking lollipops under her mother's prohibition. Finally, when she saw Huitai Lang handing over the 2 fire eye stones, she also wanted to hand over treasures and receive praise from her master. But other than the earth fire magic ball, she had nothing else. Hesitating and struggling in her heart for a long time, Yu Yang pretended not to see it. It was only when the spirit of earth fire reluctantly handed over the treasures in her arms with a pitiful look that Yu Yang finally nodded his head. He placed the earth fire magic fireball back into her hands. Seeing Yu Yang nod his head and return the treasures, the spirit of earth fire's heart was filled with a strong excitement. She hugged the treasures and rushed up to the sky, reaching a height of 1,000 meters. Then, she flew everywhere in the sky. It was as if she was using this to express the excitement in her heart. She did not realize that this action was very similar to a human's reaction. Although she was still very far away from being a holy beast and having complex human emotions, but after passing Yu Yang's test and training, she already had a new beginning. What's wrong with this little bird of yours? Yikong pointed at the wind-breath seabird on Fatty Hai's head. Don't mention it. Fatty Hai wanted to cry when he talked about this little bird. It looks very smart. Prince of Tianluo and Shui Tianlang both realized this. Oh my god, it's just too smart. I would rather it be a little more stupid. Before Fatty Hai could finish his sentence, the wind-breath seabird spat out a wind blade, hitting Fatty Hai's head. Now that it knew how to control its strength, it did not hurt Fatty Hai's skin, but also messed up his hair like a chicken nest. Fatty Hai hid in a corner and drew circles. After being interrogated by everyone, he finally told them the story of him and the little bird. In the end, everyone laughed crazily when they heard it. It was not that this wind-breath seabird could not be contracted, but it betrayed him too quickly. Its loyalty was originally very high, just like a normal contracted beast. However, as long as Fatty Hai nagged or complained, its loyalty would immediately drop and it would betray him. This action made Fatty Hai's idea of torturing it fail. It even tortured Fatty Hai to the point of wanting to die. This was because even if Fatty Hai did not contract it, it would still follow him closely. The Oxhead fan Luantai looked down on Fatty Hai's idea of roasting bird meat and rewarded him with a serves you right. After another hour, Yu Yang finally saw the Li clan brothers, who had arrived late. They were all present and did not wait for O Jin and the others. There were 2 teleportation points in the underground palace. One was to teleport to the Gold Palace, and the other was to teleport to the center of the 5 palaces. You guys go first. We will wait for another 3 hours. If our teammates don't arrive by then, we will return to the Warriors Guild and send out an elder to bring them out of the 5 palaces. Of course, I think there is a high chance that they will be sacrificed. Oh Jin's voice was a little sad. However, he knew that if it was not for Yu Yang, the Iron Blood Guards would have suffered even more casualties. They might have been completely annihilated and would never be able to rise again. Young Titan, you must bring more adventurers here. I am very lonely. I hope that you can bring these friends to visit me when you are free. The King of Earth was very grateful to Yu Yang. After all, not everyone would be as generous as Yu Yang and return most of the things that they won. Of course, just wait to receive the money. Yu Yang decided to advertise the 5 Elements Palace once he got out. He had already taken the treasures anyway. Many mercenaries secretly swore that they would never come to this damned 5 Elements Palace again. However, O Jin and the others felt that this was actually a very good place to train. If they could pass through the 5 Elements Palace, they believed that the whole 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, or even the 7th floor, would be able to come and go as they pleased. In the 5 Elements Palace, reality would tell every adventurer that without a beast, a warrior would be nothing. With only one beast, a warrior would still be nothing. To be truly strong, one had to take care of everything. Or an adventurer team with all kinds of talents, working together and going through life and death together, would be able to successfully train. Treasures? Don't even think about that. Being able to walk out of this five elements palace alive was already the biggest reward in life. There was only one abnormal person like Yu Yang in this world. After leaving the jadeite forest, Fatty High bragged about his great act of exploiting the last treasure of the evil millennium ancient tree, the evil tree root, and was looked down upon by everyone. Hearing this, Yu Yang's mind moved. Don't say, this evil tree root might still have some use. You're saying that these will be useful to Bing Air? Fatty High was very excited after hearing this. His excited look was as if he had been injected with chicken blood. There's no use, but it might be useful to you guys. Yu Yang waved his hands and said to Fatty High, who had immediately withered, I want to buy the Antares poison wood and the incomparably hard-side gene tree at a high price. In short, buy all the good trees. I'll try to use these evil tree roots to make some strong trance. Even if it's not convenient to fight monsters, it's not bad for defending the city. Why don't we ask the Warriors Guild if this jadeite forest is for sale? Why don't we buy a large piece of land around the Five Elements Palace to build a city? Normally, you guys would have a place to stay. Later, when people from the Soaring Dragon Continent or your family or friends come over, you guys would also have a place to greet them. Don't tell me you want Jun Yu and the other old men to stand in the plaza and chat with you guys. Building a city? Where do we have so much money? Prince of Tianluo was very dizzy. Building a city was not easy. Money, this is not a problem. Yu Yang had never worried about not having enough money. If he had no money, he could just rob others. He waved his hands, assign a task to everyone, collect 100,000 gold. I'll take care of the rest. Collect from who? Oxhead fan Luan Tai couldn't understand. Who would give money to others to build a city? Collect for people we don't know. When Yu Yang said this, everyone fell to the ground. As expected, this brat was a bad person from head to toe. Chapter 406. During this adventure in the Five Elements Palace, Lin In, Anna, Oxheadly Ao, and Oxhead fan Luan Tai were scared half to death. Fatty High, Yi Kong, Shui Tan Lang, Prince Tianluo, and the Li brothers were also tested. The only one who was at a loss was the lowly Bao heir who slept from the Gold Palace until they came out. Of course, the reason she could sleep for so long was because of the Fallen Flower's city mistress who planted the fragrant sleeping flower. The whole team's harvest was light, especially in terms of treasures. Only Fatty High obtained 10 evil tree roots. However, he had provoked an extremely smart wind breath seabird that had been torturing him all the way. According to Fatty High, this was not worth it. However, Yu Yang had a great harvest. In the Gold Palace, Yu Yang obtained the divine molten meteorite gold that could be used to forge divine weapons. With this, Yu Yang was confident that he could continuously perfect and even complete Ghost Genius Yu Gong's third treasure. In the Water Palace, Yu Yang obtained the Dragon Trapping Pearl. On the surface, it was useless, but it was a treasure that could be used to capture dragons. The prerequisite was that one had to have enough ability to capture dragons. In the Wood Palace, because of Yu Yang's glib tongue, the evil millennium ancient tree met a tragic end. Its treasures, the ancient cyan tree sprout, the earth's core dew, and the wishing Dutchman's pipe, were all swindled away by Yu Yang. What was even more shameless was that Fatty High even threw stones at the evil millennium ancient tree when it was down, swindling away the last 10 evil tree roots. There were 2 guardians of the Fire Palace, and they were twice as tragic as the others. The evil millennium ancient tree still had some income, but the Purgatory Flame King and Red Spirit Fire Demoness of the Fire Palace both became the stepping stones for Hui Tai Lang and the Spirit of Earth Fire's evolution. The gold rank Fire Scythe was assimilated by Hui Tai Lang, becoming a true essence Fire Scythe. Hui Tai Lang finally had a weapon. As a divine beast, although a gold-ranked weapon was a little inferior, it could still be used. Not only had the Spirit of Earth Fire evolved by absorbing the fire ability, she had also gained intelligence. At the same time, she had also obtained an Earth Fire Magic Ball. She would probably level up again in the future, as its master, Yu Yang only managed to obtain 2 of the Purgatory Flame King's eyes, the Fire Eye Stone in the huge Fire Palace. It was better than nothing, but it was the smallest harvest out of all the 5 palaces. However, Yu Yang was very satisfied with the harvest from his beasts Hui Tai Lang and the Spirit of Earth Fire. Of course, the one who obtained the most was not Hui Tai Lang and the Spirit of Earth Fire, but the barbarian Cow Shadow, a man who had been quietly contributing for a long time. After obtaining the Heart of the Earth, a man would become a female barbarian bull that would never tire. Yu Yang's plan to nurture a goddess of war had officially begun. Looks like you guys still need more experience. Yu Yang threw out a few bronze-ranked weapons and silver-ranked armors from Demon Eye's platinum-ranked storage ring. Then, before anyone could react, he immediately slipped away, afraid that they would ask him about the treasures he had obtained. What a joke if they knew that he had obtained the divine molten meteorite gold. It would be weird if they didn't pester him for the divine equipment. This brat must have obtained a lot of good things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so generous. Heavens, these are all bronze rank. There are only 2 silver rank. They're all trash. Fatty Hai was the person who understood Yu Yang's temper the most. He knew that Yu Yang must have obtained a lot of treasures. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left the 5 Elements Palace so quickly. You don't want it? Fine. Yi Kong decided to split the treasures equally, but not to Fatty Hai. What? Did I say that I don't want it? Fatty Hai stared back. Isn't Master Hai the young master of the richest family in the Soaring Dragon continent? Why would he be interested in these small trash? Yi Kong sneered and snatched the silver-ranked great axe from Fatty Hai's hands, throwing it to party leader Li Ao. Fatty Hai immediately squealed like a pig being slaughtered, but everyone pretended not to hear it. No one sympathized with this fellow, who asked this fatty to proudly show off the evil tree root just now. Everyone got nothing, but he got a very smart wind breath seabird. This was illogical. They really didn't know why the wind breath seabird would like him. I'm so poor that my pockets are jingling. Aren't you guys too heartless? There are no treasures, not even a consolation. Fatty Hai was about to cry and complain, but who knew that everyone would turn around and leave, not giving him a chance. Fatty Hai was so angry that he stomped his feet. Ga. The wind breath seabird loved to see Fatty Hai's unlucky look the most. It happily flew around in the sky, cackling. I suddenly want to pluck its feathers. I really want to eat roasted bird legs. Fatty Hai stared at the wind breath seabird sinisterly. The little bird immediately rewarded him with a wind blade, then quickly ran away. Yu Yang's next goal was to go to the secret place where the Bloody Queen's mother had ascended. He explored for a while. It was said that Golden King beasts could level up there. Yu Yang decided to bring the Bloody Queen there to have a look. He wanted to see what was going on. The other was one of the 2 secrets mentioned in Fourth Uncle's will. There was a gift that Yu Qiu left for his son in the 5th floor of Tong Tian Tower. However, Fourth Uncle didn't know the exact location. He only heard Yu Qiu mention the approximate area. Yu Yang still needed to find it himself. What gift did Yu Qiu leave for the pitiful guy? Yu Yang was also very curious. After finishing these 2 items, Yu Yang prepared to explore the Death Canyon by himself. At the same time, he would look for the secret in the treasure map left behind by the Ares Temple thief to see if there was really any information about the hidden treasure. If he couldn't make it in time, he would definitely go all out to collect the Mother Earth potion in the 7th floor of Tong Tian Tower with Spider Empress Jiangying. After all, that was the most important thing. It wouldn't be too late to explore the Death Canyon later. As for the Heaven Stairway, Yu Yang decided to find a time to have a good talk with Fourth Mother. Yu Yang felt that Fourth Mother should know the secret of the Heaven Stairway. It was just that she didn't take the initiative to tell Yu Yang. Maybe she would tell him when the time was right. What was the Heaven Stairway? Could it be that the Heaven Stairway could allow one to directly ascend to Heaven Realm? Yu Yang secretly guessed that there was such a possibility. He felt that the Heaven Stairway was a secret passage to Heaven Realm. Of course, he would only know the truth after exploring it. Back at the Warrior Guild, Yu Yang went up to the Hall of Honor on the 3rd floor and asked if he could use the Immortal Spring to exchange for the innate Ranker's reward on the Bloody Fall list. The beautiful receptionist was so shocked that she looked at Yu Yang with her mouth agape. After a long while, she waved her hands and said that there was no such treasure. I need the immortal spring. If you guys are ready, then I will exchange it with the Warrior Guild for the related honor. The innate level 5 demon eye, the leader of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress. Yu Yang said coolly and then left. Wow. The beautiful receptionist stared blankly at Yu Yang's back. After 3 minutes, she screamed, "Oh my God, this is too exciting." What happened? Another very serious manager scolded. "This is the Hall of Honor. Please pay attention to your image. You don't know? The innate level 5 demon Eye is dead. He was killed by that masked handsome guy." The receptionist accidentally revealed Yu Yang's secret. The manager, who didn't know the truth, was shocked. After a long while, he said in disbelief, "Really? You said he wants the immortal spring? This is a little difficult. I need to report to the Innate Alliance immediately. Remember, this is a top secret. Other than you and me, don't let anyone else know about this. Otherwise, it will be the greatest harm to the brave warriors who are trying to get rid of evil." He really said Demon Eye just now? Are you 100% sure? Demon Eye of the Thunder Fortress, the leader of the 3 leaders. How could I have heard wrongly? Oh my God, he is so cool. The beautiful receptionist's eyes had already turned into 2 hearts. Yu Yang returned to the Thunder Fortress. This time, he didn't need to return to Ndong's mansion. Demon Eye's Evil Eye Palace was being rebuilt in a hurry. The new Titan Palace would be expanded based on the Evil Eye Palace, combining Demon Eye's and Ndong's territories, as well as the lakeside area that Mountain Elf and Blood River gifted to Yu Yang. The new Titan Palace will become the largest building complex after Chong and Eye Palace. Countless slaves were happily busy. Among them, the slaves who first followed Yu Yang were the most energetic. Although Demon Eye's slaves and servants were abnormally diligent, they were still cautious. Fortunately, the Titan brothers had a good reputation. Otherwise, there would be a lot of slaves who escaped. Master. Among the voices calling Master, the fat toad Jada's voice was the loudest, proudest, and most respectful. Demon Eye's property has been successfully taken over. There are a total of you, and manager Yin Zheng will handle these. I'm assured that you have the ability to do it well. If you don't have enough manpower, ask the Xiaopu brothers to help you. All right, if you want to add anything in the future, you don't need to ask me. Just do it directly and report to me when you are done. Yu Yang wouldn't care about these people's daily life. Anyway, it will be fine as long as they operated normally. Moreover, the fat toad Jada didn't have the guts to lie to him. Yes. The fat toad Jada was so happy that his face turned red. This was the trust and recognition of his master. Merciful, great, and invincible master. The new ores we found in mine number 5 have produced high-quality ores again. It is all thanks to Master's luck. The other person who was extremely proud was the old slave Pai Ping. This fellow was very easy to praise. Once he was praised, the bones in his body would become lighter by a few kilograms. Well done. Everyone has worked hard. This time, the reward will be doubled. Those who excavate high-quality ores will be rewarded once. Everyone who excavates the ores will be rewarded with 1 gold coin. As for those of you who built the houses, all of you will be rewarded. As for the specifics, you will be rewarded according to your contributions. Butler Yin Zheng will be in charge of this. Remember, the reward will never be less. When your contributions have accumulated to a certain level, I will consider awarding you a loyalty or contribution medal. All of you work hard. Yu Yang waved his hand and rewarded close to 10,000 gold coins. Of course, his rewards were even greater. Not only now, but also in the future. Master's grace is as high as the heavens and as deep as the earth. Old Pai Ping was so touched that tears streamed down his face. He led the slaves to kowtow continuously. Get up. Yu Yang was speechless. The emperor's love for bootlicking was probably caused by this kind of people. However, he who knew the art of leadership still helped old Pai Ping up and patted his shoulder lightly. With this pat, old Pai Ping's body immediately became a few kilograms lighter. After the slaves kowtowed 3 times, Yu Yang raised his hand in the air. Immediately, They started to clatter. Their faces were still stained with tears. It was unknown if they were really touched or if they were acting like a movie king. Entering the hall, he found that butler Yin Zheng was extremely busy calculating something. Even when Yu Yang came in, he couldn't divert his attention to greet him. On the other hand, the large group of merchants who surrounded butler Yin Zheng all gave him a flattering and respectful smile. Yu Yang waved his hand and left by himself. These people felt that Mr. Little Titan was really amiable and easygoing. Ordinary innate rankers wouldn't even look at merchants. Everyone gave him a thumbs up and praised him nonstop. "Ah, Master is back. I was only focused on drawing and didn't have time to cook. I have really neglected my duty. Please punish me, Master." A half-elf girl with a child's face and big breasts ran out from the inner room with a little panic. The power of her breasts trembling caused Yu Yang's heart to be put to a test. Her white orchid-like fingers were still stained with paint, but her little face was blushing as if she had done something shameful. "You drew pretty well." Yu Yang knew that this little girl was definitely drawing him. He glanced at it from the corner of his eyes. It was really her, but there was an additional drawing of her. On the white cloth, there was a drawing of Yu Yang wearing a Gemini mask, while the half-elf girl drew herself hugging Yu Yang's arm, smiling happily. Seeing that Yu Yang wasn't angry, the half-elf girl naughtily stuck out her little pink tongue. Yu Yang patted her head and rewarded her with a fresh fruit. "Are you hungry? Eat this first to fill your stomach." The half-elf girl was so excited that her little face turned red. She took the fruit, lowered her head, and nodded. When Yu Yang returned to the grimoire world, she clenched her little fist and cheered herself on with tears streaming down her face. "I'm such a failure. I actually forgot to cook." Luckily, Master wasn't angry, but Master is really gentle. "I must work hard tomorrow." The next day, after settling the matters in the Thunder Fortress, Yu Yang prepared to go down to the 3rd floor of Tong Tian Tower to find a mysterious place that could allow a Golden King beast to ascend. Suddenly, butler Yin Zheng came in to report that Mr. Chun from the Qilin continent had arrived. Chapter 407. "Mr. Little Titan, you really surprised me." Mr. Chun was still wearing that wide-brimmed hat, but his face looked much better now. It was probably because Yu Yang had exchanged 2 martial arts pills previously, allowing his son and daughter to successfully break through their bottlenecks. Mr. Chin's complexion looked very good. He was in high spirits. When he saw Yu Yang walking out, he immediately bowed deeply to him like a gentleman. "My friend, could it be that you have brought me a piece of good news this time?" Yu Yang looked at his expression, as if something good had come to find him. "That's right," Mr. Chin smiled. "However, please forgive me. I'll leave the good news for last. It's like this, regarding the Thunder Ores. I wonder if we can still keep our promise? Well, I mean, as if possible, I want to buy all the ores in the West Wind Pit. You can pay with gold coins, or you can exchange with magic crystals and treasures. Of course, if you are willing, we can even pay with the Qilin continent's unique wine. Other than being an exceptional wine, the Qilin wine is also a good recovery potion. It has a certain effect on recovering a warrior's qi and blood, replenishing strength, and healing external injuries. In the Qilin continent, the annual production of the Qilin wine does not exceed 30,000 bottles. Most of them are transported to Tong Tian Tower to be sold by merchants. It is a very popular wine. "How much Qilin wine do you have?" Yu Yang went straight to the point and asked. "At the very most, I should be able to get 10,000 bottles. Among them, there are 100 bottles of 5th-rank Dragon Blood wine, 1,000 bottles of 4th-rank Tiger Bone wine, and the remaining 9,000 bottles of 3rd-rank Beast Blood wine." Mr. Chin knew that Yu Yang had a lot of ores. 10,000 bottles of wine could only make up a small part of it. He would mainly use treasures like the wisdom fruit and magic crystals to pay for it. As for gold coins, Mr. Chun did not think that the other party would be short of money. Yu Yang muttered to himself. He somewhat understood why Mr. Chun wanted to buy the thunder ores so urgently. It should be fed to some kind of thunder-attributed beast to increase their level and battle power. Supplying ores to the Qilin continent for a long period of time would inevitably affect the development of the soaring dragon continent. However, going back on his words and going back on his words made him feel a little awkward. Furthermore, Yu Yang had occupied Demon Eye's mind. He did not have to worry about not having oars. Mr. Chen probably wouldn't want the top-grade oars, and he wouldn't be able to afford them. The best Yu Yang would keep it for himself. It was just right to sell ordinary oars to the other party. What Yu Yang wanted the most right now wasn't the Qilin wine. It was a consumable item, so what if he drank it? What he wanted the most was the recipe for the wine, as well as the method to create weapons and armors using the Thunder Oregon. With these techniques, Yu Yang would be able to replicate them immediately and apply them on the soaring dragon continent. It wasn't impossible to research on it himself, but it would take too much time. This kind of thing wouldn't help him much, so Yu Yang was too lazy to use his brain. He had too many things to do. It would be best if he could obtain the technique directly. If he copied it, it might even be better than the original. Yu Yang reckoned that Mr. Chen would not take out the technique to create the thunder or to exchange. As for how to feed the beasts, even if Mr. Chen said this method, the soaring dragon continent might not have those special beasts that ate oars. The supply of oars wasn't something that could be done in a year or two. In the end, Yu Yang decided that it would be better for him to put some effort into researching the thunder oars. He would then give this method to Jun Wu Yu as the betrothal money for marrying Princess Qianqian. This way, his future father-in-law Jun Wu Yu would definitely be overjoyed. Yu Yang made up his mind and nodded. All right, no problem. We'll do as you said. The Qilin continent can use the wine as collateral for a portion of the oars, but our main exchange will still be with magic crystals. When Mr. Chen saw that Yu Yang was deep in thought, his heart was still beating like a drum. He also knew the value of the Thunder Oregon. His conditions were definitely not the highest. Now that there were so many competitors, he quickly showed his sincerity and made a win-win situation. Mr. Little Titan, in order to thank you for your trust and friendship, we are willing to give you the technique to create the thunder armor from the thunder or for free. Furthermore, we can cooperate fully. Mr. Little Titan, please forgive my frankness. Our technique is not the highest. The Demon Abyss's usage of the thunder ore and the dwarf's forging technique are the most perfect. However, those are top secret and we are unable to obtain them. Another point, because only the Qilin continent has the Thunder Beast that can be used to increase the attributes of the Thunder, or we are willing to use the mature and tamed Thunder Beast as the collateral for the oars. The technique to extract the oars? Butler Yin Zheng was stunned. Mr. Chen's generosity was definitely huge. The Thunder Beast is an extremely powerful mount. Its speed is as fast as lightning, and its attacks contain lightning, which can paralyze the enemy. If it can surpass the bronze rank and reach the silver rank, a level 6 Elder or a level 7 Overlord would also be suitable to ride on. The fat toad Jiada was afraid that Yu Yang would not agree, so he quickly reminded him in a low voice. Our Qilin continent will provide 2 gold rank Thunder Beasts and 10 silver rank Thunder Beasts every year. As for the rest, the lowest is bronze rank level 4 and the highest is bronze rank level 6. The limit is 300 to 500 of them every year. We will not force you to give us top grade oars. Every high grade Thunder or can be exchanged for at least 2 silver rank Thunder Beasts. Mr. Chun passed a trade agreement that he had prepared long ago to Yu Yang. Very good, Mr. Chun. Your frankness is worthy of respect. The trade is established. Yu Yang knew that the other party would definitely not tell him how to raise and train the Thunder Beast. Every race had their own secrets. For example, it was impossible for the elves to tell him how to make bows, the gnomes to tell them how to embed gems, and the dwarves to tell them how to forge weapons. Would the Yu clan tell outsiders about the puppet-making technique? Of course not. The source and supply of the Thunder Beast was still in the hands of the Qilin continent's rankers. However, Yu Yang had also benefited a lot from it. It was impossible to monopolize everything in business. Being able to monopolize the most valuable thing was already enough. Moreover, this thunder mine was snatched from others. It was basically a profit without any capital. Yu Yang's main task was to gain experience and increase his cultivation. He did not need to be distracted too much with these things, as long as he could earn the most profit. Sha. Yu Yang signed Titan's name on the trade agreement. He then drew a Gemini mass symbol on it. At this time, Mr. Chen's heartbeat finally stabilized. He knew that to everyone, this was a win-win situation. However, the other party might not necessarily want to win with him. Little Titan could choose someone else, because the initiative to obtain the thunder or was completely in the hands of this unfathomably strong young man. If he decided to cooperate, then it would be a win-win situation. If he refused to cooperate, then he would still have a chance to cooperate with someone else. Mr. Chen gratefully bowed to Yu Yang. Thank you very much. I believe that our Qi-Lan continent will be able to get a chance to breathe because of your support. We will be able to obtain a better chance of survival. You must know that we have always been living under the shadow of the Demon Abyss. Before we proceed with our trade, I can guarantee you that the assets that I handed over to Butler Yin Zheng in the Qi-Lan continent will not be counted as part of our future trade. They will belong to you completely. If you do not want to receive Indong's assets in the form of gold coins, then we can exchange them for other things at the same price. For example, Qi-Lan wine and Thunder Beast. We can also provide a small amount of thunder armors. I am very curious about the products of your continent. I really want to see it. Give me a little of everything. Yu Yang looked like he did not care and laughed it off. But in his heart, he thought that this Mr. Chun was too honest and old-fashioned. If he was from the Soaring Dragon continent, would he take the initiative to hand over the assets of Indong's hometown to an unknown person? Definitely not. It would be weird if he did. Even if he had to hand it over, he would not hand it over completely. He would definitely hide a large part of it. On the contrary, looking at this Mr. Chun, before he returned, he had already handed over the assets to Butler Yin Zheng. It seemed that hiding other people's assets was an especially shameful action. Seeing this scene, Yu Yang's heart was slightly moved. He remembered that Lin In, Anna, Bao Er, Li Ao, and Fan Luantai all had good morals. It seemed that other than humans, many other races had shocking morals. Forget about the elves, but how could an oxhead, a pigman, and a toad be more virtuous than humans? This was really dizzying. If he were to use the standards of the Hua, Xia Tian dynasty, these people were all King idiots, brainless and a pain in the ass type. Yu Yang secretly sweated in his heart. Of course, he would definitely support others to be virtuous and treat others sincerely. It would be best if everyone in Tong Tian Tower behaved like a gentleman, but he would definitely not do that. Compared to being a good person, Yu Yang felt that it was more comfortable to be a bad guy who did whatever he wanted. Let others be the good guy, do the bad guy himself. This was Yu Yang's way of thinking. Mr. Chun happily bid farewell and left. He was prepared to bring his hometown's good wine, mounts and armors to the Thunder Fortress to trade. To be able to cooperate with the Titan brothers, who were strong in eights, was undoubtedly the luckiest thing for the Qi-Lan continent. Before he left, he gave Yang a piece of parchment paper. On it was a map, marking a location. Yu Yang's heart palpitated when he saw it, because the location marked on the map was called Evil Dragon Lair. This was found by a thief who was extremely good at concealment. He almost lost his life because of it. According to his information, there is a black dragon, 2 red dragons, and close to 100 red flame flying dragons inside. If you need more information, you can go to the Silver Bullhorn Tavern and look for a man named Darkblade. He is my most respected friend. I wish you good luck. For this information, Mr. Chun paid a total of 10,000 gold coins, but he gave it to Yu Yang without hesitation, because he felt that this young man was more suitable than him and had more confidence in venturing into the dragon lair. If you succeed, I will repay you with a bottle of dragon blood. Yu Yang naturally understood how dangerous and difficult it was to find the evil dragon lair and how valuable this piece of information was. Mr. Chun was also an innate ranker. If he was willing to give this opportunity to slay a dragon to Yu Yang, it meant that he had enough sincerity to cooperate with Yu Yang. Let alone the evil dragon lair, there were even dragon hunters in the Jadeite forest, where giant dragons temporarily passed by. From this, it could be seen how hard it was to find a giant dragon. Furthermore, giant dragons were not to be trifled with. Giant dragons were not like flying dragons. They were definitely invincible on the battlefield, causing all living creatures to flee at the sight of them. Returning to the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, Yu Yang pretended that he did not know Fatty Hai and the others. He found a teleporter and teleported to a continent 10,000 miles away. On that continent, he teleported to another place 10,000 miles away. After teleporting 3 times, Yu Yang finally arrived at a huge city called Tagu. He spent money to hire a blue-winged, white-backed gull and flew directly to the Silver Bullhorn Tavern like a taxi. This was a medium-sized tavern. There was a huge silver bullhorn as the tavern's logo. It seemed that this was the base of the Silver Bullhorn mercenary group. There were many similar taverns in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Yu Yang pushed the door open and entered. Those who saw Yu Yang were a little surprised. Many of them even sized up the Gemini mask on Yu Yang's face and the long bag on his back that was wrapped with the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear. A weak level 6 elder actually wore a gold-ranked mask on his face. The eyes of many people who were drinking at the table flashed, but for some reason, they did not dare to snatch it. It was much better than the people near the entrance of the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. It seemed that the Silver Bullhorn mercenary group had some reputation. At least they could suppress their customers. Yu Yang ignored those greedy gazes and walked directly to the wine cabinet. He threw a handful of gold coins and said, "I'm looking for Darkblade." Chapter 408. There is no one called Darkblade here. The beauty standing at the wine counter smiled politely. There's a type of wine called Dark Night Temptation. Do you want a cup? Ask him to come out now. Yu Yang grabbed another gold coin and placed it on the counter. There's really no such person. I also want to earn your gold coins, but I'm sorry. The beauty returned the gesture. My patience is limited. Yu Yang's gaze was very serious. Customer, I'm sorry. Please allow me to serve you. A half-bald old man stood at the side. He reached out his hand and patted the beauty's shoulder, hinting for her to leave as soon as possible. Then, he took over her original position and asked with a face full of smiles, "Dear customer, she is new here and doesn't know anything. If you want to ask for news of Darkblade, I will tell you a piece of unfortunate news. Darkblade is already dead." "How'd he die?" Yu Yang asked. A month ago, Darkblade received news of a secret treasure. He told his best friend, but who knew that his best friend betrayed him and secretly spread the news of the secret treasure? A strong mercenary group found Darkblade and escorted him to the location of the secret treasure. Along the way, they met even more adventurers. It turned out that his greedy friend sold the news to a few mercenary groups. In the end, before they could get the secret treasure, a few mercenary groups started a fight, and in the end, they even lured the strong dragon hunters. The dragon hunters took advantage of the fact that both sides were injured and captured them in one fell swoop. Including Darkblade and his friends, everyone was annihilated. As for the news of the secret treasure, because of Darkblade's death, no one knows anymore. The half-bald old man sighed. Many people think that this is a conspiracy deliberately spread by the dragon hunters. They deceived Darkblade and let him bring the news back. In the end, it caused the mercenary groups that coveted the secret treasure to fight, and they took the opportunity to take advantage of it. Is it really like that? Yu Yang smiled faintly. This matter, everyone in the Pagoda ancient city knows about it. At that time, our Silverhorn mercenary group also had a meeting, but the leader felt that there was something fishy about it and gave up on the treasure hunt. Later on, it was proven that it was indeed so. The half-bald old man's words were very convincing. The events, process, and contradictions were almost impeccable, but Yu Yang did not believe a word of it. The closer the description was to the truth, the more fake it was. There was no need to read detective novels to know this. Just by watching TV, one would know that a guy who looked like a good guy on the surface was definitely a bad guy. Of course, Yu Yang believed that the main reason why the half-bald old man lied to him was because of his senses. As a powerful innate ranker, his senses were extremely sharp. Yu Yang already knew that this old man was going to spout a bunch of lies before he even opened his mouth. On the other hand, the outsider beauty didn't dare to speak casually because she wasn't used to lying. She was afraid that Yu Yang would see through her lies and expose her. Her clumsiness was in stark contrast to the old man's slickness. If Darkblade was really dead, this old man shouldn't be sighing. Instead, he should be happy, a kind of gloating happiness. Then, he would brag about it vividly and make this topic the laughingstock of the tavern. Therefore, the calmer this old man acted, the more abnormal the matter was. Is Darkblade really dead? Yu Yang finally asked. The one who collected his body was my nephew. Although Darkblade wasn't my friend, he never owed me money for drinks. In fact, he was a good customer. The half-bald old man pretended to bemoan the state of the universe and pity the fate of mankind. He did not know that in the world of the Huaxia dynasty, there was a character in a novel called Yubuchuan. This character told the readers not to easily trust others, especially a species called gentlemen. Let him come back to life and appear in front of me as soon as possible. Yu Yang took out another gold coin and placed it in front of the half-bald old man. But he's really dead. The half-bald old man's gaze turned slightly cold. He didn't expect that after talking for so long, the other party still wasn't moved and stubbornly believed that Darkblade was still alive. In 10 minutes, if he doesn't appear, I will burn down this tavern, Yu Yang said as if it was a matter of course. Brat, are you looking for death? Behind Yu Yang, a tall and sturdy man with a round waist stood. He patted Yu Yang's shoulder with his big, furry hands and shouted sternly, "Get the hell out of here right now. Don't ever appear in Tower Gu ever again. Otherwise, I will beat your dog legs. Why don't you ask around? Is this a place where you can behave atrociously? Even if Captain Taurus isn't here, this friend of his will not let others behave atrociously in his territory." The customers in the tavern also denounced Yu Yang along with the burly man. One by one, they stood up and began cursing loudly. Some were even prepared to roll up their sleeves and rush forward to beat up Yu Yang. The half-bald old man hurriedly pretended to be a good person. Everyone, don't be angry. It's all a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. Thank you everyone for your praise of our silver bullhorn. But we open a tavern to do business, not to cause trouble, but to make a fortune. Everyone calm down. Come. Serve wine to the customers. This round is on me. Turning around, he smiled at Yu Yang. This esteemed customer, please don't be angry. We understand that you are anxious to find Darkblade, but he is really dead. If you don't believe me, I can get someone to bring you to see his grave. Everyone here can also prove that Darkblade has already been dead for half a month. His corpse is already rotted. The customers laughed loudly. Idiot, only coming to look for treasures now. If there were really treasures, would we still be waiting for a fool like you? Another person mocked. Luckily, he came late. Otherwise, if he met the dragon hunters, he would probably pee his pants on the spot. Boasting shamelessly, a mere level 6 elder wants to behave atrociously here. Do you want me to die of laughter? Standing behind Yu Yang was a tall and sturdy Bear Clan man with a loud and clear voice. He was overjoyed. Did you guys hear that? Just now, when he said that he would burn this silver bullhorn tavern, he almost scared me to death. This brat must not have woken up yet. Even in his dreams, he would never have thought that this silver horn tavern was actually opened by the strongest innate ranker, the Ox tribe warrior, Silverhorn. Brat, you want to behave atrociously in the innate ranker's territory? Are you even an innate ranker? Why? Did you pee your pants in fright? Touch your crotch. Little bird, don't be scared. Is it still there? Ah. Boring. Yu Yang shook his head. He casually threw a punch behind him, nonchalantly. It was as if a bored friend of the tavern was chasing away a fly. Although the burly man from the bear tribe was laughing wildly, he was already prepared. He reacted in an instant. His huge fist retaliated with an explosive force, smashing towards Yu Yang's back. He knew that a fight was inevitable. Although he was laughing arrogantly on the surface, he was secretly on guard. Seeing that it was real, he immediately counterattacked. It wasn't just him. The other customers also felt that under such ridicule, even if the masked brat had a good temper, he wouldn't be able to take it. All of them held their cups and watched the show. Some of them were even prepared to give the masked brat a flying kick after the man from the bear tribe defeated him to vent their anger. Just when everyone was prepared to see Yu Yang suffer, the situation changed beyond their expectations. The moment the huge fist smashed into Yu Yang's back, Yu Yang's hand hit the chin of the man from the bear tribe 1/10 of a second earlier. Immediately, the bear tribe man shot up into the sky like a rocket. His huge body shot straight to the roof, smashing through the second floor with a boom, then smashing through the third and fourth floor, as well as the roof of the fifth floor, flying dozens of meters into the sky. 10 seconds later, the man from the bear tribe fell down. He fell back into the hole he had created and accurately landed in front of Yu Yang. The wooden floor on the ground was completely shattered. Wood chips flew everywhere. The entire Silver Horn Tavern was shaking. The windows were broken, and the mud and dust were rustling down. The customers who were squatting on the long benches to watch the show were all turned into clay puppets. Many of them poured the wine in their hands onto their chests or pants, but they didn't notice it at all. Everyone's eyes were wide open, just like toads that had been stepped on. Even though the truth was right in front of their eyes, they couldn't believe that it was true. A level 7 advanced overlord was sent flying by a level 6 beginner, Elder, with a single punch, and even fainted on the spot. Was this even possible? If it was the other way around, it wouldn't be possible. That half-bald old man was so scared that he shivered. He quietly hid in the wine cabinet and prepared to sneak away. Come out and lead the way. If I can't see Darkblade in 10 minutes, I can guarantee that this Silver Horn Tavern and everyone here will evaporate in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Yu Yang knocked on the counter, scaring the half-bald old man into sticking his head out. Bang! The half-bald old man was so flustered that his head hit the edge of the cabinet. He didn't dare to cry out in pain and quickly led the way. 5 minutes later, Yu Yang finally saw Darkblade. He was a skinny thief with an extremely ordinary appearance. If he was thrown into the crowd, it would be like throwing a grain of sand into a sandpit. He would definitely not be found. Of course, his looks weren't enough to be a celebrity, but to be a thief, his looks were practically a cheat code. People like thieves and assassins didn't need to be handsome. The more ordinary they were, the more battle power they could unleash and the higher their chances of survival. There were a few other people standing with Darkblade. There were 3 men of different races, 2 dwarves, a half-naked oxhead warrior with a golden belt, and a skinny old scholar. The half-bald old man introduced these people. They were the leader of the Taurus mercenary group, Taurus, the think tank Sage Bagu, and the 5 core members of the elite group. Yu Yang only glanced at the leader of the Taurus mercenary group. This guy had the strength of a lesser innate, but it was difficult for him to enter Yu Yang's eyes. The skinny scholar Sage Bagu, on the other hand, was sized up by Yu Yang. This old fellow was also a lesser innate, but his brain structure was different from the leader of the Taurus mercenary group. It was worth Yu Yang looking at him for a second more. The 2 dwarves were level 7, overlord, but they were probably very strong. The axes they were holding were actually made of black gold. Of course, Yu Yang was curious about them because he had never seen dwarves before. The 3 men of different races were wolf tribe warriors with bulging muscles. They were extremely tall, and they didn't wear shoes. Their sharp claws extended out. It seemed like they were agile warriors who were good at running. This is Darkblade. The half-bald old man first introduced the thief to Yu Yang, then bowed to the leader of the Taurus mercenary group. I'm sorry, leader. I really couldn't stop this esteemed guest. It's all right. It's good to have one more person join the treasure hunt. The leader of the Taurus mercenary group signaled the skinny thief to come forward. Tell this friend about the situation first. Maybe we can cooperate. The evil dragon lair isn't something that we, the Taurus mercenary group, can set our sights on. We need more helpers, but they must be friends who are sincere in searching for treasures. Is this how you treat a friend who is sincere in searching for treasures? Yu Yang didn't look at the thief. Instead, he walked to the front of a wolf tribe warrior. You are the real Darkblade, right? Yu Yang's words shocked everyone. Even Sage Bagu, who was originally calm and collected, looked at Yu Yang in shock, as if he wanted to get to know this masked man again. Chapter 409. Normal people would not be able to see through Darkblade's identity. This was because people would think that if Darkblade was a thief, he would definitely look like a thief. The biggest possibility was that his appearance would not be shocking and it would be easy for him to hide his tracks. However, the best way to hide was not his appearance, but his identity. No one would have thought that a thief would actually look like a warrior. Especially when he hid among 3 warriors, it was even more flawless. Darkblade, the super thief whose identity had never been recognized, was exposed by Yu Yang for the first time. Everyone was shocked. With Heaven Eye's divine vision, Yu Yang did not explain. Even if he did not have Heaven Eye's divine vision, Yu Yang would not be fooled. Being suspicious was definitely a common problem for smart people. Only those with a one-track mind would easily believe others. Yes, I am the real Darkblade. The Wolf Clan warrior's aura changed. From the original level 7, Overlord, it instantly rose to a lesser innate. Waving his claws, his movements were as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, Darkblade had already changed into a Fox Clan thief. Not only did he change from a warrior to a thief, even his race was not a Wolf Clan, but a Fox Clan. Yu Yang felt that the saying pretending to be a big-tailed wolf was probably referring to this guy. However, pretending to be a big-tailed wolf was the best way to cover up. Mr. Chun had said that Darkblade was an expert in concealment. It was indeed true. Yu Yang looked at Darkblade's waist and saw a silver dagger. The dagger's blade was dark green, and there were even heaven runes decorations on it. It was obviously a gold-ranked dagger, but half of it was wrapped in cowhide, pretending to be a bronze-ranked dagger. He was really talented. Tell me about the information. If it is useful, I will pay you. Yu Yang acted as if he was buying information from a thief's guild. Don't say, this guy doesn't look like a good person. The 2 dwarves objected in unison. I'll say it first. The evil dragon lair definitely exists, but the current situation is that the evil dragon lair is the base of the dragon hunters' allies. There are more than 2 groups of dragon hunters that often appear nearby. They are collaborating with the evil dragon inside. Normally, the evil dragon would search for the traces of the dragon hunters, while the dragon hunters would move out. Both sides would kill the good evil dragon and split the loot equally. With our current strength, not only can we not kill the strong evil dragon, we can't even defeat the dragon hunters. There are at least 2 innates outside the innate alliance. They are the leaders of the dragon hunters. The naked ox Jinyo looked at Yu Yang. With his 8-pack, Jinyo looked at Yu Yang. If there is at least an innate, we can try. We also have an innate ranker on our side. He is the pride of our clan, Silverhorn. Blade, we blade. Not. Jean would like to wait. Blade, dragon. Dragon. Don't be anxious. Let's listen to the specific information first. Let's hear the information first. The sage Bagu tried to smooth things over. When he heard that Yu Yang had the support of an innate, his eyes immediately lit up. Having the support of an innate and not having the support of an innate were 2 completely different concepts. Humph. Hearing that Yu Yang had the support of an innate, the 2 dwarves no longer objected to sharing information. The entrance to the evil dragon lair is not like a normal dragon lair. It is not on top of a high cliff. Instead, it is hidden in a rocky forest. The peak is extremely steep and the terrain is harsh. Normal warriors would not be able to get close to the dragon lair. The harsh terrain stretches for tens of kilometers. There's a high peak in the middle. The entrance to the dragon lair is halfway up the peak. Below it is a smooth cliff. There is no way to enter unless you fly. In the surroundings, there are countless red flame flying dragons. I think most of the adventurers would fall under the attack of the red flame flying dragons. The red flame flying dragons are a headache. Most of them are bronze-ranked level 9, and there are also silver-ranked level 8. Luckily, other than the red flame flying dragon king, there are very few gold-ranked level 7 existences. Darkblade looked at Yu Yang and slowly reported the information. From what I know, there is 1 black dragon and 2 red dragons. The black dragon is not a hell black dragon, nor is it a holy beast. However, it is very powerful. Although it and the 2 red dragons are gold-ranked level 10, its power is a few times higher. It is very terrifying. I think that warriors below innate level 5 would not be able to shake this black dragon. The red dragon also needs the power of an innate level 3 to fight against it. Now, I can't guarantee that there are not more evil dragons in there. Maybe there are more, or even stronger existences. If it is an innate, we need to work together in order to win. The sage Ba Gu suggested to Yu Yang, "We will distribute the spoils of war according to strength and battle achievements. My tribe's Lord Silverhorn is a level 5 innate ranker. May I ask, what is the strength of your innate ranker?" Party leader Taurus was openly negotiating. "If you are weaker than the power behind me, then I'm sorry, but you have to listen to me." Level 6 innate. When Yu Yang said this, the other party's expressions were different. Some were happy, some were sad, some were excited, and some were worried. On the surface, it seemed like a good thing to have a super strong ally, because a strong ally meant the success of the mission. However, a strong ally also meant that they would have to share more treasures with others. As a level 6 innate, ordinary things would definitely not be able to catch their eye. Party leader Taurus and the sage Ba Gu looked at each other. Then, party leader Taurus said, "It's not that I want to be disrespectful to an innate. I just want to ask for an innate's name, so that I can report to Lord Silverhorn." Yu Yang looked at him indifferently and said 2 words, "Titan." When this name was said, everyone was stunned again, because they had never heard of it before. As a level 6 innate ranker, he should be famous in the entire 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Unexpectedly, this masked man in front of them said an unfamiliar name. "It's fake." The 2 dwarves were the most hot-tempered and immediately retorted loudly, "We have never heard of any Titan. May I ask what glorious deeds this Titan has done, so that we can worship him?" Party leader Taurus' first thought was that it was a fake. However, it was fine if he was an innate ranker, but if he was a level 6 innate ranker, it would be extremely easy to see through him. If he knew this, why did he still want to fake it? A level 6 innate ranker definitely could not be offended. Hence, before he was 100% sure that it was a fake, he did not dare to make it up. He just killed Nightmare and Tiger Nyan of the Bloody ranking, and ahead of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress, Demon Eye. "You guys can go to the Warrior Guild to find out about this." Yu Yang turned around and left, leaving behind a sentence. "I will depart in 3 hours, regardless of whether you guys cooperate or not." "What about that respectable Lord Titan?" the sage Ba Gu asked anxiously. "When the time comes, he will appear." Yu Yang's figure disappeared. Hearing this, everyone looked at each other, not knowing if they should believe him or doubt him. This brat was too arrogant. If he was not confident, would he go to the evil dragon lair to die? With his level, if he did not have the protection of an innate ranker, going to the evil dragon lair would be like sending food to the enemy. However, they had never heard of the name Titan. Normally, a level 6 innate ranker should have been famous for at least 100 or 200 years. How could they not have heard of him? If he was hiding his strength, he should have heard of his name, right? The few of them looked at each other and rushed to the Warrior Guild in the Pagoda Ancient City to find out the truth. However, the answer they got from a Warrior Guild made them speechless. They did not know whether to laugh or cry. After the record keeper collected 100 gold coins for the inquiry, he went into the inner room and found the records. He then came out and told them, "Titan, there is such a person. He is a newbie who came to the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower from the Soaring Dragon Continent." After hearing this, the 2 dwarves fell to the ground. A newbie dared to boast about being a level 6 innate. Darkblade and the Golden Bull were disappointed. If there was really a level 6 innate ranker helping them, they would have the confidence to take down the evil dragon lair. Who would not know that he was a liar? Elder Ba Gu was expressionless. No one knew what he was thinking. Just as the few of them were about to leave, the record keeper flipped to another page. A few days ago, the newbie Titan killed Nightmare and Tiger Nyan in the Thunder Fortress. Oh my god! A newbie killed Nightmare and Tiger Nyan? Am I seeing things? The record keeper must have recorded the innate ranker's contribution here wrongly. However, how could such a thing be recorded wrongly? Looking at the next page, Titan exchanged his reward at the Warrior Guild number 1 in the plaza of the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Oh my god, is the record wrong? I'm going to faint. I must be dreaming. There's another page. Titan claimed to have killed one of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress, Demon Eye, and requested to exchange his reward for the treasure Immortal Spring. This news was verified. One of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress, Demon Eye, was indeed killed by Little Titan. One of the 10 sky demons of the demonic palace, Sky Dragon, was also present at the scene. At the same time, he was defeated by Little Titan and escaped from the Thunder Fortress, his whereabouts unknown. After this battle, all the people and shops whose names were related to Titan changed their names to show their respect to Titan, the new super ranker. Oh my God, how is this a newbie? Please forgive my mistake and my foul mouth. I definitely did not mean to disrespect an innate ranker. I definitely did not. The record keeper was so scared that he quickly put down the record book in his hands and bowed continuously. He was afraid that he would become the subject of gossip and attract the hatred of the innate ranker. Even if the innate ranker did not have time to deal with him, the warrior guild would probably fire him immediately. The ones who were the most shocked were the Golden Bull and Bagu. All of them covered their mouths tightly, trying their best to recall if they had said anything disrespectful to Titan, the newbie who killed 3 innate rankers in a row. They must not, otherwise they would be in deep trouble. The 2 dwarves were also so scared that they broke out in cold sweat. Luckily, they did not shout that Titan was a newbie in the warrior guild, or that Titan was a fake trash. Nightmare and Tiger Nyen were murderous demons that could stop children from crying. Both of them not only had the strength of innate level 3, but because their beasts were extremely strange, even innate rankers who were higher than them did not dare to provoke them. As for Demon Eye, he was one of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress. He was also a murderous demon. His hands were stained with blood, and he killed people like flies. With the strength of innate level 5, he could practically do whatever he wanted in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Who would have thought that Demon Eye would also be killed by Titan? The most ridiculous thing was that Sky Dragon, one of the 10 sky demons, was actually defeated by Titan, a newbie. Sky Dragon's reputation in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower had spread far and wide. Although he was the weakest of the 10 sky demons, what did it mean to be one of the 10 sky demons? Even the weakest among them was an innate level 6, the leader of the 10 sky demons. Sky Execution was a powerful person that could make the entire Tong Tian Tower tremble with a stomp of his foot. Sky Execution was an innate ranker that even the most arrogant demon abyss Great Demon King would bow down to show his respect. Sky Dragon, who was one of the 10 sky demons with Sky Execution, was actually defeated by a newbie. Who would dare to believe this? In short, Sky Dragon was defeated by a newbie who had just entered the Tong Tian Tower. The shock of this news was no less than a golden mammoth being overturned by an ant. It was no less than a small shrimp eating a shark. Now, the Golden Bull and the others completely understood. Why was the masked man so arrogant? The reason was because he had enough capital to be arrogant. The person behind him was Titan, who had killed Demon Eye, Nightmare, and Tiger Nyen the moment he entered the Tong Tian Tower. He was the supreme innate ranker who defeated Sky Dragon in front of everyone. The 2 of us were almost scared to death. The 2 dwarves wiped the cold sweat off their foreheads and secretly thanked their lucky stars that their mouths did not cause them to be killed. Phew! The half-bald old man also heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily, they did not offend an innate. There's hope now. Darkblade suddenly felt that Yu Yang's arrogance was very impressive. Strong people should be arrogant. If they were to be humble, how would the weak feel? I'll report to Lord Silverhorn immediately. With this strong support, I believe that the evil dragon lair will be conquered in one battle. The Golden Bull waved his huge fist excitedly. Sage Bagu was a little worried. It was not that he thought that the other party was weak, but he was afraid that the other party would think that he was not strong enough. Moreover, in order to attract more cannon fodder, the Silverhorn mercenary group had already secretly spread the news. It was estimated that no less than 200 people had already set off for the evil dragon lair. If anything went wrong and the other party found out, it was inevitable that they would resent him. 3 hours later, when Yu Yang walked to the teleportation point and was ready to teleport to the nearest evil dragon lair, the Golden Bull mercenary group Sage Bagu, Darkblade, and the others all rushed over with smiles on their faces. They crowded around Yu Yang as if they were familiar with each other. Lord Silverhorn replied and sincerely invited Lord Titan to cooperate with us. The ratio between both parties is 4-6. We will take 40%, and you will take 60%. I wonder if Lord Titan will agree to this ratio? No one can tell what will happen in the future. It's still better to distribute according to merit. If both parties do their best, a ratio of 4-6 is acceptable. Yu Yang pretended to be a spokesperson. The Golden Bull mercenary group was overjoyed. He could see that this masked man was a representative of Lord Titan's trust. Perhaps he was a brother or a nephew. In any case, he was the most trusted relative. A burst of excitement surged in him. If he wanted to build a good relationship with this masked man, it would be equivalent to climbing the high branch of another innate. Moreover, that Lord Titan was a supreme innate. Darkblade also wanted to flatter Yu Yang, but he was holding a level 6 magic crystal in his hand, so he couldn't do it. He could see that the other party was wearing a gold-ranked mask, which proved that the other party was not someone who could be moved by a level 6 magic crystal. Moreover, in the long bag on the other party's back, Darkblade, who had sharp senses, could faintly feel a kind of energy wave. That was definitely emitted by a gold-ranked treasure. A level 6 elder actually had 2 gold-ranked treasures. If this young man didn't have a strong innate ranker backing him up, he would probably be robbed the moment he stepped out of the house. What was the use of giving a level 6 magic crystal to such a young man? Darkblade clenched his teeth. He felt that he should go all out and find a chance to give that treasure to this young man. With him giving it to Lord Titan, then he would have an innate to protect him in the future. His future would be bright. Of course, among his teammates, he would definitely not show goodwill to the other party, especially in front of the Golden Bull mercenary group. Otherwise, Silver Bull Horn would hate him to death. In the sky, the Reaper Mantis circled downwards. When it appeared, it immediately scared the blue-winged, white-backed gulls that were carrying passengers, causing them to panic and flee in all directions. The beasts on the ground were trembling and whimpering incessantly. Wherever the platinum-ranked level 4 Reaper Mantis passed, all the beasts would bow their heads. When it retracted its wings and landed lightly on Yu Yang's back, the Golden Bull mercenary group finally dared to swallow his saliva. He pretended to be calm and asked, This is your beast." Chapter 410. The attack on the evil dragon lair was surprisingly smooth. This made Yu Yang feel an inexplicable sense of danger. It was too smooth. There must be something wrong. On the surface, attacking the evil dragon lair was not a problem. More than 200 mercenaries took the risk together. Before attacking the evil dragon lair, everyone fought together. Although there were dozens of red flame flying dragons, they were quickly defeated. Most of them escaped, and a few of them were killed on the spot. Most importantly, 2 innates had appeared. One of them was the Sword and Shield mercenary group's innate level 3 Spitfire. The other was Spitfire's good friend, who was said to be a level 2 innate, Hurricane. With the addition of these 2 innates, victory was very easy. Yu Yang had even kept the Reaper Mantis in advance and hid among the mercenaries in a low-profile manner. He did not stand out to kill the red flame flying dragon instantly. Party leader Taurus and the others looked at the sky far away. Silverhorn did not appear. The other stronger innate Titan did not appear either. This made party leader Taurus a little worried. The red flame flying dragons were defeated and escaped without a trace. Other than a few injured mercenaries who returned to Bo Nan ancient town with the dragon's corpse, the rest decided to charge into the evil dragon lair. Under the leadership of the 4 innates, not to mention the evil dragon lair, they could even go anywhere in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. As the people flew closer to the evil dragon lair on the cliff, a meteor-like ray of light rapidly approached from afar. Party leader Taurus and the others cheered. That was Silverhorn, an innate ranker who had reached innate level 5. Everyone hurriedly greeted him. Even the 2 innates Fire Breath and Hurricane were no exception. The conversation between innate rankers could not be heard by bystanders. The three innates discussed for a while and quickly entered the evil dragon lair. The mercenaries fought to be the first. The sword and shield mercenary group, which had the most people, rushed to the front. Yu Yong frowned. He felt a strong sense of uneasiness. This feeling was only felt when he entered the Demon Palace and the Prison Emperor Divine Palace. Could it be that this evil dragon lair was another demon palace? Could it be another Prison Emperor Divine Palace? Yu Yong really wanted to turn around and leave. He felt that things weren't looking good, and it wasn't wise to force his way in. However, if he left, he might miss out on something. It was very difficult to find an opponent that could help him in his training. Every adventure and every battle was an opportunity for him to improve. A man should face difficulties head-on. If he was scared by the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, then he wouldn't need to go to the Heaven Realm anymore. Evil Dragon Lair. No matter what kind of place it was, even if it was hell, Yu Yong decided to enter and break out. He slowly clenched his fist. Darkblade looked at Yu Yong, who had stopped in his tracks, and suddenly asked in an extremely soft voice, "Will Lord Titan really come?" "Yes." Yu Yong turned to look at the strange thief. "If he really will come, then I'll go in. If he doesn't, I think it's better for us to leave. This time, the feeling I get is even more terrifying. Something must have happened inside. I feel like I've fallen into an ice cellar." Darkblade had goosebumps all over his skin. He didn't have any innate senses, but as an outstanding thief, his senses weren't weak either. Although he couldn't tell what was strange, Darkblade instinctively felt that something was wrong. If it wasn't for Yu Yang's confirmation, he would definitely not enter the evil dragon lair again. Those who left could have already. Yu Yang looked at the distant horizon. The mercenaries who left with the wyvern corpses instantly disappeared. "What?" Darkblade broke out in cold sweat. "Let's go in. This might be an interesting place." Yu Yang jumped down from the mountain peak and flew into the group of mercenaries. "No, this place isn't interesting at all." Darkblade wiped his cold sweat and immediately chased after Yu Yang. He felt that the only safe place in the evil dragon lair was beside this masked man. If he lost him, it would be equivalent to losing his life. The evil dragon lair was very hot, and there was a unique smell of sulfur. The deeper the lair went, the hotter the waves became. He was sure that this was not a volcano cave or a lava cave. The only explanation was that there were living creatures that emitted high heat from their bodies. Yu Yang was very careful with every step he took. He had never been so cautious before. Even when he was alone in the Ares Temple of the 12 Zodiac Temples, he was not this nervous, because with every step he took, he felt that he was walking towards death. That feeling of being strangled by someone was extremely uncomfortable, almost suffocating. If Yu Yang left the evil dragon lair now, he believed that no one would be able to stop him. But Yu Yang clenched his fist and didn't do so. He believed that this would be an extremely difficult adventure, and at the same time, an unexpected battle. If he could break through, it would greatly improve his cultivation. On the contrary, if he left, he might leave behind a heart demon. Just like the warriors who couldn't pass the Gemini Temple and Virgo Temple, he could only run away from the weakness in his heart forever, unable to face it directly. The ancient runes in his body trembled in his mind, faintly resonating. Maybe there was also an ancient rune circle here. The last time Yu Yang encountered one was at the precipice of the Cloud Peak Lake. That was a space where flying was forbidden. What would be forbidden here? On the precipice of the Cloud Peak Lake, Yu Yang understood the power of the runes and gained a lot. Today, in this evil dragon lair, would he be able to gain the same thing? My beast! The mercenaries suddenly started to panic. Heavens! No, how could it be like this? Yu Yang's gaze turned cold. He now knew what was forbidden in this evil dragon lair. This place completely forbade the use of beasts, which was the opposite of the Five Elements Palace. Countless beasts rolled around in pain. In the end, without waiting for their masters to summon them back, they automatically turned into various kinds of light and disappeared. Even strengthening type beasts fell from their masters' bodies and quickly disappeared. The depths of the evil dragon lair was filled with this kind of law that forbade summoning. Without beasts, with only the main body, Yu Yang's heart trembled. Could it be that he had a bad feeling before? If he lost the support of his beasts, his strength would be greatly reduced. Compared to Yu Yang, those mercenaries who lost their beasts were even more pitiful. In any case, Yu Yang was an innate who was proficient in battle techniques. Even without the support of Little One Li and the Giant Shadow, he could still fight in close combat. However, some strengthening type and elemental type mercenaries were completely unable to do so. Once they lost their beasts, it was equivalent to losing all their fighting strength. Amidst the shouting and cursing, about 30 people had no choice but to leave. This was because they had already lost their fighting strength and could no longer explore. 5 minutes later, Yu Yang felt that the 30 people who left had all died instantly. Their breaths disappeared as if they were cut by a knife. The mercenary group, who did not know anything, continued to move forward. Yu Yang walked among them, concealing his breath as he observed secretly. There were fiery red ores in the cave. They were not bright enough, but it was enough for people to see. The most irritating thing was a kind of smell in the scorching hot air. This smell made many races who had a sensitive sense of smell very afraid. It was the smell of the giant dragon. If this place did not forbid summoning, just the smell of the giant dragon would cause many beasts to be afraid and even flee. Will Lord Titan definitely come? Darkblade walked to Yu Yang's side and asked quietly. Yes. Yu Yang ignored him and picked up a stone to look at. This was a very ordinary stone, but it was mysteriously filled with the power of the law. Yu Yang had seen this kind of situation at the precipice of the Cloud Peak Lake before. It seemed that it had nothing to do with the ores here. The real thing was the ancient rune circle here. In Yu Yang's heart, he could not help but feel a sense of anticipation. If he could absorb the power of the second ancient rune circle and obtain more ancient runes, he believed that it would be of great help to his world, exterminating wheel and runes. The more Yu Yang walked, the more he felt the power of the law. After walking for a few thousand meters in the cave, he realized that there was a huge space in front of him. It was as big as 10 football fields. The whole space was blood red, and it was made of the same kind of starfire ores. At the top of the cave, there was a layer of red sand, blood clouds, and red mercury swirling around. Darkblade shook his head in despair. No, this is a red sand blood cloud whirlpool. I have been here before. There was no red sand blood cloud. It was said that the red sand blood cloud whirlpool could increase any kind of fire attribute energy. The more evil the fire attribute energy, the greater the increase. However, every user had to sacrifice a large amount of human blood to use it. This was unique to the Demon Abyss. He did not expect it to be here too. What caught Yu Yang's attention was not the red sand blood cloud whirlpool above his head, but the ground. The power of the law seeped out from the ground, proving that the ancient rune circle was hidden underground. In front of the adventuring party, in front of a huge rock wall, 3 innates, Silverhorn, Spitfire, and Hurricane were standing in front of the rock wall, looking up at the ancient rune circle. Other than Yu Yang, no one else would know that this ancient rune circle was fake. Although there was energy in it, in Yu Yang's heart, this ancient rune circle did not resonate with him at all. That was definitely fake. Unfortunately, even Silverhorn was easily fooled by the ancient rune circle in front of him. Welcome, everyone. It seems that we have quite a number of guests. A huge black dragon popped its head out from the east side of the rock wall and spoke in human language. Unfortunately, we will not be sharing this ancient rune circle with you. Of course, we do not mind using your blood to awaken it. When a sacrifice is successful, I will definitely tell you the secret of this ancient rune circle left behind by our ancestors. The number of people is still a little small. It would be great if there were 1,000 people here. A similarly huge red dragon popped its head out from the west side of the rock wall and spoke in human language as well. However, its words were unclear and far away from the black dragon. Roar, roar. A red dragon that was slightly smaller than the red dragon, but its head and tail were more than 25 meters long, flew out of nowhere. After circling in a circle, Its claws hung upside down on the stalactites that popped out from the red sand blood cloud whirlpool. Its head looked down, and it let out a deafening dragon roar towards the adventuring party. The sound reverberated in the huge space like a clap of thunder. The weaker adventuring party already had blood oozing out of their ears and fell to the ground. A red dragon that did not know how to speak had such a terrifying power with just one roar. All the adventuring party's hearts sank, and they no longer had the courage they had before. Outside the cave, two groups of more than 20 dragon hunters silently arrived. Their faces were filled with madness and bloodlust as they sneered. It was as if the adventuring party had already become the sacrificial victims, like pigs on a chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. Yu Yong swept a glance outside, and his pupils immediately contracted slightly. He saw an absolutely unexpected person. This person, it was impossible for him to appear here. However, this person appeared. Was it really necessary for this person to appear to deal with 200 adventuring party? Was it a conspiracy against him? Was this a trap? However, this person appeared so openly. Was he not afraid of alerting the enemy and allowing him to escape? If this person did not come specifically for him, then what was this person trying to do in the evil dragon lair? What attracted him here? Shun Tian, the great emperor of Ji Wei. The three innates, Silverhorn and Spitfire, were all scared to the point that their bodies turned cold. The great emperor of Ji Wei, Shun Tian, who had not appeared in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower for hundreds of years, actually appeared in this evil dragon lair. Even a fool would not think that Shun Tian was here to simply kill the giant dragons to rid the world of evil. I'm not the owner of this place. I'm also a guest. The one who invited me here was the Black Prince. Once Shun Tian said this, everyone felt that the situation had reached the point where a widow and her only son had died. Their hearts were in complete despair. Chapter 411. We didn't mean to offend the dignity of the strong. This is a misunderstanding. Please let us leave. We are willing to use the best treasures to express our sincerest apologies. Silverhorn hoped that Shun Tian would let him go. There was no way he could fight. He believed that Shun Tian could defeat everyone here with one finger. He realized that he had broken into a place he shouldn't have. His only hope was to leave before the secret was revealed. Otherwise, the other party would kill him without hesitation, because the real secret could only be kept by the dead forever. When speaking, Silverhorn skillfully used the word we. First, even at the last moment, he didn't forget to unite his companions. Even if Spitfire and Hurricane only had the strength of innate level 3 and innate level 2, in Silverhorn's view, they were a force worth using. He knew that if he faced Shun Tian alone, even if he was 10 times stronger, he would still be easily killed by the other party. In Spitfire's palm, he held the best teleportation crystal. As long as he squeezed it lightly, he could leave, but he didn't dare to gamble. Once he crushed the teleportation crystal, if it didn't work, he would definitely die. Or, if the teleportation crystal worked, but the teleportation time needed 1 second. For Shun Tian, 1 second was enough. As the great emperor of Ji Wei, he could kill any warrior below innate level 5. I'm not the host. Like you, I'm also a guest. Shun Tian laughed and didn't accept the apology of Silverhorn and the others. In other words, he wasn't going to let Silverhorn and the others go, regardless of whether the intruder was intentional or not. As long as he entered and discovered the secret of the ancient rune circle, Shun Tian would only trust one kind of person, and that was the dead. Since I'm the host, how can I not do my duty as a host when there are honored guests? If this gets out, outsiders will definitely laugh at me for not knowing etiquette. Rest assured, as long as you finish viewing the secret of the ancient rune circle, I will entertain you warmly and personally send you off. The Black Prince's eerie and terrifying voice rang out coldly. No one could tell where he was. It seemed to be very far away, but also seemed to be right behind them. It was ethereal. Black Prince's words made everyone's heart stop for 3 seconds. His meaning was obvious. It seemed that he wasn't going to be kind. Let me leave. I can give up one of my hands and one of my legs, as well as my best treasures, and offer you 1,000,000 gold coins every year. Silverhorn made the greatest sacrifice. You don't have to do that. You just have to watch the show quietly. The Black Prince refused immediately. Pon, Spitfire used the fastest speed in his life to crush the teleportation crystal. The beam of light flashed, but it did not rise into the sky. Instead, it strangely sank into the ground and disappeared without a trace. Teleportation failed. Although this place didn't prohibit teleportation, even a blind man could see that the teleportation light pillar wouldn't work at all. Such an unforeseen event caused Spitfire, who had failed his last gamble, to feel incomparable despair in his heart. He was like a gambler who had lost all his belongings. His eyes were bloodshot as he laughed maniacally. "Aha! Ah!" The wide space echoed with the despairing laughter of Spitfire. Including Silverhorn, many people's foreheads were dripping with sweat. Now that he had been driven mad, who knew if the next person to be driven mad would be them? Yu Yang had been watching all this calmly. The chaotic aura of the surrounding mercenaries due to their fear and anger was the best cover for him. Hiding in the crowd, Shun Tian didn't even look at the large group of mercenaries, let alone his existence. Shun Tian's gaze didn't even look at Spitfire, who was driven mad, but at Silverhorn and Hurricane. If this wasn't a plot to ambush him, then it must be a shocking secret. Yu Yang thought to himself, an ancient runic circle that couldn't be shown to the public and had to be hidden deep underground. An ancient runic circle that seemed to only be showing its power recently. What did this mean? There were many uses for the ancient runic circle, but there were two main uses. The first was the inheritance. For example, the world exterminating wheel that was inherited from Yu Yang was the best proof. The second was the seal. For example, the dark golden specter that was sealed in the white jade beetle and the golden specter that was sealed in the golden palace's long box could be considered as a small seal. For example, the Prison Emperor Divine Palace's 7-star pillars and Prison Emperor Divine, sword sealed Mingyu Guang, Prison Emperor Divine staff sealed Void, and Prison Emperor Divine seal sealed Jiu Shao. Could it be that there was also a terrifying demon sealed in this place? When Yu Yang thought of this, his heart couldn't help but tremble slightly. "Ah!" Spitfire was still laughing crazily. "Why don't I find this funny?" The giant black dragon with its sharp teeth shook its ugly head and snorted coldly. "We didn't even think of alarming anyone. We just wanted to quietly uncover the secret of this ancient teleportation circle. But you guys came here to die. This is really ironic. Do you think that with the strength of 3 low-level innates and small fries, you can kill a dragon? What a joke. I'm not made of tofu. If I evolve again, I'll be a hell black dragon. Even now, I'm still a hell flame black dragon, a platinum-ranked level 10 hell flame black dragon. Do you think that you guys can kill me? Don't talk about you, Boss Blacktooth. Even I, Fire Eye, and my brother, Flame Tongue, are not people that they can target. The red dragon that could speak ridiculed arrogantly, below innate level 6, will kill as many as we can. These people are really stupid. What kind of creature do they think a giant dragon is? Innate level 6. Darkblade's heart moved slightly. There was still a level 6 innate titan. Although he was far from Shun Tian, they might be friends. Use fresh blood as a sacrifice. Everyone, the show is about to start. The Black Prince's eerie and terrifying voice rang out. Silverhorn and the rest looked gloomy. Although the Black Prince wasn't in a hurry to kill the mercenaries that had barged in, it didn't mean that he would let everyone go. Perhaps this Supreme Innate had left 200 mercenaries behind to prevent any unexpected changes. If there were any changes, he could use the 200 mercenaries and 3 innates to be the scapegoats. Even with the abilities of the Black Prince and Shun Tian, he was still so cautious. It was really admirable. Yu Yang was slightly surprised, because he realized that no matter if it was the Black Prince or Shun Tian, they didn't know that the ancient rune circle on the precipice was fake. The real ancient rune circle was under their feet. However, they didn't seem to sense it. In front of the precipice, more than 20 dragon hunters carried water jars and poured a large amount of fresh blood onto the ancient rune circle. They also killed hundreds and thousands of dwarf slaves that they had caught from somewhere in front of the precipice. An old priest chanted crazily and waved his bone staff. Actually, before the old man chanted, the ancient rune circle had already started to shine with a demonic red light. Gold, black, white, silver, and other runes peeled off from the ancient rune circle one by one. Every time a rune peeled off, the whole stone room would tremble. Perhaps the whole mountain was shaking. Everyone turned pale. No one would have thought that unsealing the ancient rune circle would cause an earthquake. The ancient rune circle was still far from being unsealed, and this place was about to collapse. What should they do? Not only the mercenaries that had barged in, even the dragon hunters were shocked. However, Shun Tian and the Black Prince didn't say to leave, so no one dared to move. Yu Yang's pupils contracted slightly. As long as he had the Heaven Eye's divine vision, he could see that there was a terrifying innate hiding in the fake ancient rune circle. That was definitely not a seal, but a disguise. That terrifying innate was hiding in the ancient rune circle, waiting for some kind of opportunity. Now, this innate who had been hiding for God knows how many years had finally awakened. On the precipice, the demonic red light shone brightly. The red light in the whole space was so thick that even the air seemed to have turned into blood water. Even a legendary blood pool, hell was nothing compared to this. When the last huge, fake ancient rune fell off from the hanging wall, the whole ground shook. Gravel fell from the sky continuously. Huge cracks appeared on the rock bodies in the east, south, west, and north like spider webs. At this moment, everyone was staring at the precipice that was about to collapse. No one paid attention to the relatively intact ground, other than Yu Yang, who discovered that there was an even more hidden, more powerful, and more terrifying energy underneath his feet, stirring restlessly. However, this cunning guy didn't attract any attention with the cover of his companion on the precipice. The precipice, where all the runes had fallen off, exploded with a bang. A ray of red light that was 100 times colder than the sun shot out angrily and did not stop for a long time. Even someone as strong as the great emperor of Ziwei, Shun Tian, couldn't help but frown slightly. He focused his attention and focused on finding the secret of the ancient rune circle seal. Boom! A slender, jade-like hand suddenly stretched out from the stone wall. The movement was gentle, but the power it brought was as strong as a thunderbolt. Gravel that was as big as a millstone flew into the air. Before the person in the stone wall struggled out, the whole mountain was shaking crazily, as if the sky was going to fall and the earth was going to crack. Yu Yang sensed that at the same time, the even more terrifying energy under the ground was also struggling in the real ancient rune circle, as if it wanted to escape from the seal. Rocks that were as big as houses flew off from the precipice. The mercenaries who couldn't dodge in time were directly smashed into meat paste. The rocks that were sent flying by the person in the stone wall, when he broke through the wall, were no less than a blow from an innate rancor. Not to mention the ordinary mercenaries, even the strongest Taurus group leader didn't dare to raise his arm to take it head-on. Instead, he hurriedly dodged. Darkblade was extremely terrified. He had been standing behind Yu Yang and didn't leave for even a second. He had a feeling that his only way out was to stay beside this masked man. If he left, he would die. The one who broke through the wall was a peerless beauty whose body was so good that it made people drool. She had a head full of flame-like hair that danced without any wind. There were 2 small horns on her forehead, which made her look extremely wild. Electric eyes and flaming lips. Anyone who saw her coquettish appearance would immediately have their beastly blood boiling and a fanatical desire to push her down. Her snow-white breasts were soft. Her waist was slender and boneless. Behind her sexy buttocks, there was also a tail that was fatally tempting, as if it was the whip of a queen. This woman, who was as beautiful as a demon, didn't care about other people's eyes at all. Once she broke through the wall, she completely ignored the fact that her naked body was seen by others. She even gave everyone a flirtatious look. Once this seductive electric eyes were released, all the mercenaries immediately turned into berserk beastmen. Those with weak willpower had already started to tear off their own clothes, drooling, as if they wanted to have sex with this demoness immediately. Even those with strong willpower couldn't help but reveal a perverted look and couldn't wake up for a long time. Shun Tian swallowed a mouthful of saliva and pretended to be polite. First, he threw out a golden treasured robe and passed it to the demoness with his fingers. At the same time, he respectfully said, "Junior Shun Tian, I don't know why Senior was sealed here. Today, I have the fortune to see Senior's heavenly face. Senior, please bestow me with your treasured name, so that Junior can worship you." The demoness pointed her jade-like finger and completely eliminated the power transmitted by Shun Tian. Even Shun Tian was moved by the brilliance of her technique. She slowly put on the golden treasured robe. No one knew whether it was intentional or her nature, but even when she was wearing the robe, she didn't forget to seduce others. Many mercenaries couldn't resist the desire in their hearts. Their eyes were red with fanaticism, and they rushed towards the demoness naked. Of course, Shun Tian wouldn't miss this opportunity to court the beauty. He stretched out his fingers and pointed. Void's finger strength was like lightning, exploding the heads of all the crazy mercenaries who rushed out to rape the woman. "This robe is so beautiful. I like it very much." The demoness smiled charmingly and looked at Shun Tian with her sexy eyes. Even though she was looking at Shun Tian, everyone present felt that she was looking at them and talking to them. The demoness giggled a few times and then said with a seductive voice, "Since this handsome boy called Shun Tian asked, I will reluctantly tell you. My name is Scarlet Concubine. Thousands of years have passed. I'm afraid you have already forgotten me." Scarlet Concubine? Shun Tian really didn't remember that there was such a beauty in the ancient times. Yu Yang was shocked. Now he completely understood that the terrifying rancor who was sealed under his feet was actually him. The Scarlet Emperor who was as famous as the Prison Emperor, but was defeated by the Prison Emperor. This Scarlet Concubine was the Scarlet Emperor's most beloved concubine. If the Scarlet Emperor escaped from the seal, it would be no less than the three great leaders of the Heaven Realm escaping from the Prison Emperor Divine Palace. The three great leaders of the Heaven Realm would only return to the Heaven Realm. No matter if it was Void, Jiu Shao, or Ming Yu Guang, they wouldn't stay in the human realm. However, the Scarlet Emperor was different. If he broke out of the seal, not only the soaring dragon continent, but the whole Tong Tian Tower would never have a day of peace. The Prison Emperor had already passed away. Rancors had withered 6,000 years later. Who would be the Scarlet Emperor's opponent? Forget about the Scarlet Emperor who was as famous as the Prison Emperor. Even the Scarlet Concubine who had just broken out of the wall had the power of an innate level 9, and this was still in her weakened state. If she recovered her peak, this Scarlet Concubine would at least be an innate level 10. Yu Yang couldn't help but clench his fists tightly. Under the situation where he couldn't summon his beasts, would he be able to stop the Scarlet Emperor from waking up? One Scarlet Concubine was enough of a headache. Adding Shun Tian and the Black Prince, this battle would be extremely dangerous. However, no matter how difficult it was, he definitely couldn't let the Scarlet Emperor see the light of day again. Once he broke out of the seal, everything would be over. Chapter 412. Sure enough, it's only been 6,000 years, and the world has completely forgotten me. It's so sad. The seductive woman smiled charmingly. There was no sense of inferiority in her tone. Instead, it was as if it was the most stupid and pitiful loss that the world didn't remember her. "Senior, please grant us your glorious name." Shun Tian found that the woman in front of him was almost as powerful as him, even though she was just released from the seal. He was shocked and happy at the same time. If he could join hands with this woman and obtain thousands of years' worth of knowledge and experience from her, it wouldn't be a problem for him to become Ji Zun in the future. No one knew what the Black Prince, who was hiding in the dark, was thinking. But one thing was for sure, the Black Prince would never make an enemy out of a senior innate like Scarlet Concubine. The seductive woman called Scarlet Concubine giggled. "It's okay that people have forgotten me. You're called Shun Tian, right?" Your name is not bad, and your potential is not bad. With some guidance, you might even be able to go to Heaven Realm. Heaven Realm? Have you been to Heaven Realm? Shun Tian's expression didn't change, but he was ecstatic. Heaven Realm had become a legend. Even a powerful Ji Zun couldn't enter Heaven Realm. Could it be that this woman had been to Heaven Realm before? Not to mention Shun Tian. Even the mercenaries who were still under the threat of death pricked up their ears to listen. After thousands of years, this was the first time the warriors of Tong Tian Tower had the chance to learn about Heaven Realm. How could they not be tempted? Only Yu Yang was an exception. He knew that 6,000 years ago, warriors could enter Heaven Realm as they wished. It was as easy as going from the first floor to the second floor of Tong Tian Tower, and from the second floor to the third floor of Tong Tian Tower. The gate to Heaven Realm was closed only because the prison emperor and the three great leaders of Heaven Realm fought to death. Although the gate to Heaven Realm opened once every 100 years, in reality, no one had actually entered Heaven Realm. Of course, maybe there was, but no one knew the truth. Yu Yang suspected that the reason why the pitiful guy's mother disappeared was because she went to Heaven Realm. The gate to Heaven Realm wasn't easy to enter. For example, the Heaven Stairway. The Heaven Realm is a very interesting place. There are a lot of strong creatures from all kinds of races, but there are very few who have grimoires. If the Heaven Realm's rankers contracted a grimoire, they would immediately be taken to the sect to be trained. I believe that a handsome guy like you, Shun Tian, would be a very popular candidate. Even if you didn't have the power of a level 9 innate, and were not an innate, you would still be delighted. According to them, a living being without a grimoire contract would only be a fake innate even if it had the power of an innate. Of course, the Heaven Realm doesn't call them that. They're all called Earth-ranked warriors, which is different from the other kind of Heaven-ranked rankers. Scarlet Concubine smiled charmingly as she introduced the various aspects of the Heaven Realm. Earth-rank warrior? Heaven stage martial artist? Shun Tian was very surprised, but after thinking about it, he felt relieved. The Heaven Realm would definitely have their own names, so it wasn't strange. Yes, the Heaven Realm usually calls our innate level 1 rankers as Earth rank level 1. The standard of evaluation is similar, but all Earth rank rankers do not have grimoires. In the Heaven Realm, there are many creatures that are naturally very strong. Maybe an ugly bug that came to the human world would also be a very scary and powerful existence. However, those guys are all fools. They don't have brains. They can't be compared to real innates. Therefore, even if an Earth rank ranker reaches Earth level 10 and has the power to overturn rivers and seas, he is still looked down upon in the Heaven Realm. The grimoire is the pass to the Heaven Realm. With it, the Heaven Realm will always welcome you. When warriors from the lower realm come to the Heaven Realm, if they have a grimoire, they will immediately be absorbed into a certain sect and receive full nurturing. It's almost like using the pushing method to turn the grimoire contractor into a Heaven rank ranker. Scarlet Concubine's words moved Shun Tian's heart. The Heaven Realm was indeed more beautiful than the legends. As long as he could go up there, his future would be limitless. What kind of existence is a Heaven rank ranker? Shun Tian asked. If you're not afraid of being shocked, then I can tell you honestly that you, the handsome Shun Tian, don't have the strength of a Heaven rank ranker. Although you're very close, you're still limited within the Earth rank. Moreover, you have a huge obstacle. If you can't break through, then you'll be limited below the Earth rank for the rest of your life. As for the Heaven rank ranker you asked about, I was a Heaven rank ranker when I was at my peak. I was a Heaven rank level 2 ranker, but now I've fallen back to Earth rank level 9 due to excessive weakness. Oh right, Heaven rank rankers are also called innate Ji Zun in the lower realm. Thousands of years later, is there still a Ji Zun? If there is, then Ji Zun is a Heaven rank ranker. Scarlet Concubine looked at Shun Tian suspiciously. He didn't even know about these things. It seemed that the warriors after thousands of years had deteriorated too much. Ji Zun? Shun Tian was shocked. He didn't think that the gap between him and Ji Zun was so big. No wonder Ji Zun could ignore all innates. She had already surpassed the warriors in the lower realm by so much. Facing Scarlet Concubine's suspicion, Shun Tion's eyes flashed and replied, "Yes, but there's only one. What's his name? Is he called Prison Emperor?" When Scarlet Concubine said the name Prison Emperor, her hands trembled slightly. Ordinary people wouldn't notice, but Yu Yang saw it clearly. It seemed that 6,000 years ago, Prison Emperor was really a powerful guy. He had been dead for 6,000 years, but Scarlet Concubine was still so afraid of him. One could imagine how powerful he was at that time. When Shun Tian replied that Ji Zun was a woman, Yu Yang noticed that Scarlet Concubine immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Scarlet Concubine used a coquettish smile to cover up her loss of composure. Io, a woman became Ji Zun, but made thousands of men stare at her helplessly. It's really amazing. However, 6,000 years ago, although there weren't many heaven rank rankers in the lower realm, there were still dozens of them. Who would have thought that it would deteriorate to this level today? It's really a pity. Dozens of them. Shun Tian was speechless. He couldn't imagine the situation 6,000 years ago when the innate alliance had dozens of Ji Zun. What kind of world was that? 4 Tong Tian Tower. Could it really accommodate dozens of Ji Zun? Now, forget about Ji Zun. There weren't more than 30 people who could reach innate level 8 and above. Innate level 9 and above were even rarer, and innate level 10 were as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. It seemed that the current era was really incomparable to the ancient times. When the Black Prince heard the name Prison Emperor, he suddenly asked, "Senior Scarlet Concubine, have you heard of the Prison Emperor Divine General?" Scarlet Concubine covered her mouth and giggled. "Of course I know the Prison Emperor Divine General that you're talking about. But he only dares to brag about the Prison Emperor Divine General in front of you guys. Hee. If he were to meet me, that lowly slave of the Black Prison would have to greet me respectfully and call me your highness." What? Shun Tian and the Black Prince were completely stunned. The Prison Emperor Divine General changed his name to the Black Hell King after he woke up. He ran amok everywhere in Tong Tian Tower with an extremely arrogant attitude. Other than being slightly wary of Ji Zun, he didn't care about other strong people like Sky Execution and the great Demon King Baruth. The Black Hell King, who claimed to be able to rush to Heaven Realm after recovering his strength, was actually a little slave in front of Scarlet Concubine. Scarlet Concubine's eyes flashed with a devilish light. Is Black Prison still alive? I really didn't expect that. However, I couldn't be bothered to care about this. It was more important to do serious things. The little handsome Shun Tian and the little brother who likes to swim around like a loach. Do you want to cooperate with me? Although my strength has not recovered yet, it is definitely not a problem to bring you up to Heaven Realm. Of course, your bottlenecks are also a piece of cake for me. As long as you cooperate with me sincerely, I guarantee that you will have a bright future. Shun Tian and the Black Prince pondered for a moment and didn't reply immediately. It would be a lie if they weren't tempted. However, they didn't know what they needed to do if they agreed to cooperate with Scarlet Concubine. If Scarlet Concubine wanted to challenge Ji Zun and snatch her position, Shun Tian and the Black Prince would definitely not agree. They would never fight a battle that they weren't confident of winning. Scarlet Concubine was very strong, but Ji Zun was definitely not someone to be trifled with. If Scarlet Concubine failed in her challenge, Shun Tian and the Black Prince believed that Ji Zun would kill them without hesitation. She was definitely a person who kept her word. No one who dared to provoke her would survive. Never. I wonder what Senior needs us to do. Shun Tian bowed respectfully. If it's a small matter, you can tell me directly. I'm happy to help Senior. It's a small matter, but it's not a small matter either. Scarlet Concubine's expression became serious. My husband is the Scarlet Emperor, who is as famous as the Prison Emperor. 6,000 years ago, he defeated countless strong warriors in the Heaven Realm and was invincible. If he wasn't misled by someone and barged into this forbidden ancient rune circle and was sealed by an unknown expert until now, I'm afraid that the entire lower realm today would have belonged to my husband, the Scarlet Emperor. As long as you protect my husband to break out of the rune circle, the road to Heaven Realm, breaking through the bottleneck, and ascending to Heaven Realm, all of these can be satisfied. Not to mention these, even the entire lower realm can be given to you. Our goal is the heaven realm, don't worry. Scarlet Emperor? Shun Tian slightly hesitated at this moment. It wasn't wise to let such a ferocious person out. However, breaking through the bottleneck, advancing to heaven rank, and entering the heaven realm were the most basic temptations. Anyway, he was below one and above tens of thousands of people. Even if the Scarlet Emperor didn't come out, there would still be Ji Zun. If the Scarlet Emperor came out, he would definitely fight with Ji Zun. He might even be able to take advantage of it. Most importantly, even if he didn't help the Scarlet Concubine, or even opposed it, he might not be able to stop the Scarlet Emperor from waking up. Becoming enemies with the revived Scarlet Emperor? Or allies? Even a fool would choose the latter. The Black Prince secretly transmitted a message to Shun Tian, expressing that he was willing to accept this agreement, but to let Shun Tian appear, he was still hiding behind the scenes. It's our fortune to be able to serve Senior. How will we dare to ask for too much? Shun Tian was definitely not a person who was willing to be under others. However, he was very smart. How could he not know in his heart? On the surface, he was definitely polite and had the appearance of a modest gentleman. May I know what I can do for Senior? The Black Prince asked. Just guard here. After a while, you guys don't have to do anything. As long as someone disrupts my summoning ceremony, you guys can stop him. The Scarlet Concubine smiled slightly. She already knew the answer. Breaking through the bottleneck, advancing to heaven rank, and leading the way to heaven realm. These three temptations were irresistible to any warrior. Although the other party definitely had their own thoughts, they definitely agreed to the alliance. So simple. Shun Tian and the Black Prince were stunned. No one here knew who would come. It's very simple, but also not simple. The Scarlet Concubine's face darkened. I have a very bad premonition. Although there are no strong enemies around, I still have a bad feeling. I hope it's just an illusion. After my summoning ceremony starts, you guys have to watch over everyone. Don't let anyone disrupt my ceremony. The Scarlet Concubine's gaze swept towards the Silver Horn, Spitfire, and Hurricane. At the scene, the only ones who had the ability to disrupt the ceremony were the three of them. As for those mercenaries, the Scarlet Concubine completely ignored them. She could kill a whole bunch of them in seconds. They were like ants. They definitely wouldn't be a threat to disrupt the ceremony. Even so, the Scarlet Concubine still smiled and threw flirtatious glances at everyone. Everyone, I'm going to start the summoning ceremony soon. All of you have to be obedient. When my husband wakes up, each of you will be bestowed with a gold-ranked treasure or gold-ranked beast. Everyone will get a share. I won't go back on my words. Don't worry about me. The ceremony doesn't need fresh blood, and there's no need to sacrifice human lives. As long as I call from the bottom of my heart, my husband will wake up and break through the seal. Those who want to follow me to the heaven realm, this is a good chance for you to show your loyalty. Don't let me down. Shun Tian was a little curious why the Scarlet Concubine didn't kill the mercenaries. However, looking at her carefully burning the blood-stained rocks on the ground and dispersing the smell of blood in the air, he vaguely understood that the seal would become stronger because of fresh blood. They definitely couldn't kill anyone at this time. Otherwise, the Scarlet Emperor's efforts to break through the seal would be in vain. As for chasing the mercenaries away, she was afraid that these guys would leak the news of the Scarlet Emperor's revival and cause trouble. Hence, the Scarlet Concubine chose to coax the mercenaries first. Of course, this action was also to express goodwill to Shun Tian, the Black Prince, and the other innate rankers, to show that she wasn't a selfish person who would burn the bridge after crossing it. Yu Yang had been waiting silently, waiting for the moment the Scarlet Emperor broke through the seal. Attacking the Scarlet Concubine now would be the stupidest thing to do. The other party had the Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince, these three innate rankers. Even if they could stop him for a while, they definitely wouldn't be able to stop him for long. The best way, and also the only feasible way, was to give the Scarlet Emperor a fatal blow when he was at his weakest after breaking through the seal. Even if he couldn't kill him instantly, he believed that he would be able to injure the Scarlet Emperor severely. After that, He would think of a way to escape and look for Ji-Zun, Night Empress, and the Impatience. He could even persuade Elder Nangong to use all his innate rancors to surround and kill the Scarlet Emperor. For someone like the Scarlet Emperor, allowing him to revive safely in this world would be the beginning of the collapse of the entire Tong Tian Tower. Since the prison emperor was dead, Yu Yang decided that he would become the new prison emperor. No matter what, he had to suppress the Scarlet Emperor. I will succeed. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't nervous. Yu Yang tried his best to suppress the nervousness in his heart and waited quietly. He didn't leak a single bit of his aura, looking as ordinary as a level 6 elder. Yu Yang's counterfeit inherent skill had reached its limit at this moment, even exceeding its limit. The Scarlet Concubine, the cautious Shun Tian, and the cunning and suspicious Black Prince were all fooled by the counterfeit inherent skill. Yu Yang had never thought that the most useless counterfeit inherent skill would actually be the key to his success in the future. There were no useless inherent skills in this world, only useless people. This saying was really true. Chapter 413. Scarlet Concubine started to summon the Scarlet Emperor, who was sealed underground. The ceremony was simple. It was enough for her alone. Everyone was silent. The Scarlet Lotus Fire in Scarlet Concubine's hands rose slowly. It didn't look like flames, but more like beautiful red lotuses. The Black Prince was shocked when he saw it. He was also a person who could control fire, and his control of fire ability had definitely reached the realm of perfection. His fire ability was green phosphorus ghost fire. It was a type of poisonous ghost fire that was like maggots in one's bones. The victim would be in extreme pain and couldn't be saved. As a trump card, the green phosphorus ghost fire had always been kept a secret by the Black Prince. Other than a few allies like Shun Tian, who knew of its existence, ordinary warriors thought that the Black Prince's trump cards were the 9 secret Devil's Claw and the Sky Devil's Finger. The Black Prince had enough confidence in controlling fire. Even when facing the great demon King Baruth, who was known as the #1 fire ability in the world and was famous in the entire Tong Tian Tower for his hellfire, or the Black Hell Dragon King Hua, one who was born to be the king of fire, the Black Prince was confident that he was not weaker than anyone. However, after seeing the Scarlet Concubine's Scarlet Lotus Fire, the Black Prince was shocked. No matter in terms of fire ability or control, the Scarlet Lotus Fire was far superior to the green phosphorus ghost fire, a fully formed flame. Only the Black Prince knew how terrifying the power and control of this fire ability was. Scarlet Concubine raised her hands up high. Lotus-like flames emerged from her body and scattered in the sky. Anything that came into contact with these lotus-like flames would be burnt into nothingness. The energy light pillar, under the Scarlet Concubine's full power, slowly rose from her feet to her head and went straight to the sky. Her hands kept spinning, condensing petals of Scarlet Lotus Fire in her hands, forming 2 huge red lotuses. Without the support of beasts, and even in a weakened state, the power of Scarlet Concubine's fire ability had already reached such a level. If she recovered to her peak, Yu Yang thought that he wouldn't be able to kill her successfully. Wake up, my love. Scarlet Concubine pressed the 2 Scarlet Lotus Fire onto the ground, and the rocks started to evaporate. In less than 3 seconds, the ground around Scarlet Concubine's body had melted into a huge circle that was 10 meters deep and 10 meters wide. The rocks and soil in the middle had completely disappeared. This was the power of the Red Lotus Fire. If it hit a human body, even a powerful innate like Silverhorn would be killed on the spot. Seeing this scene, all the mercenaries were so scared that their eyeballs almost fell to the ground. However, she was definitely not the one who created the loudest noise and the greatest power. Instead, it was the Scarlet Emperor who was trying to break out of the seal. Everyone heard it. A deafening roar erupted from the depths of the earth, as if a slumbering prehistoric beast had been awakened. That kind of roar made everyone's head buzz. It was as if he had been struck by a lightning hammer. Even a powerful innate like Shun Tian frowned slightly. Silverhorn and the other 2 paled. As for the mercenaries without innate strength, The weaker ones were already bleeding from their orifices and fainting on the ground. Even the lesser innates, like Taurus, Darkblade, and Sage Bagu, were clutching their heads and groaning. If this were to continue, there was no need to fight at all. He would be shaken to death by the sound. The ground shook violently, as if there was an earthquake. It exploded into pieces like a spiderweb. When party leader Taurus, Darkblade, and the others released their strongest chi to resist the extreme pressure that surged out from underground, Yu Yang quietly bent down and lowered his body as much as possible, hiding among them. While Shun Tian and the Black Prince were staring at the ground, Yu Yang's hands shone with starlight. The starlight grew bigger and denser, shining brightly like the Milky Way. His divine vision inherent skill slowly improved under the disguise of his counterfeit inherent skill and the surrounding environment. Yu Yang was waiting for the last chance. The moment the Scarlet Emperor rushed out from the ancient seal, it would be the time for him to attack. There wouldn't be many chances, there would only be one. If he didn't succeed, he would die trying. A huge pressure that he had never felt before enveloped Yu Yang, causing his body to tremble slightly. It wasn't fear, but unbearable excitement and nervousness. Boom, 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 boom. A series of terrifying explosions sounded from the ground. There was no time to dodge. More than 10 energy light pillars shot out from the ground like a fountain, breaking all obstacles. The first few light pillars only broke the ground, but the energy light pillars grew stronger and stronger. The silver light pillars started to shoot up to the dome, even breaking the rocks and penetrating through. The last 3 energy light pillars even blew through the 100-meter thick dome of the mountain peak in an unimaginable manner. Everyone looked at the 3 skylights above their heads, and everyone was completely petrified. What kind of power was this? Could it be that the Scarlet Concubine said that the Scarlet Emperor could do whatever he wanted in the Heaven Realm? This kind of power could completely overturn rivers and seas, and could even flatten mountains and hills. Being sealed in the ancient rune circle for thousands of years, he could still have such power in his weakened state. Shun Tian's expression changed. He suddenly felt that releasing the Scarlet Emperor wasn't the wisest move. But what was done was done. It was impossible to regret. The entire evil dragon lair shook. The black dragon and scarlet dragon that were originally hiding in the lair escaped in fear, in case they were buried by the collapsing rocks. The rocks on the ground were completely shattered, and countless rocks were thrown into the air. Just now, when the Scarlet Concubine broke through the wall, everyone felt that the mountain was about to collapse. Now, it was not just a feeling, but the den of evil could really collapse at any time. Maybe in the next second. A second deafening shout was heard. A giant golden hand slowly stretched out from the ground, reaching towards the cracks on the ground, reaching towards the Scarlet Concubine who was crying tears of joy and reaching out her hand to welcome it. Kakik. Yu Yang clenched his fists so hard that they made cracking sounds. He tried his best to control himself. At this crucial moment, he couldn't act rashly. He tried his best to bend down and hide behind the crowd. The star explosion energy gathered on both his hands had already covered an area of 1 meter. It rotated continuously, forming a beautiful galaxy. If the Black Prince and Shun Tian were to look at him now, they would definitely notice that something was wrong. The counterfeit inherent skill could no longer support such a large area of energy flash. But Yu Yang still didn't make any sudden moves because he felt that it wasn't the best time yet. He definitely couldn't fail at the last moment. Persevere, persevere. Yu Yang clenched his teeth, silently withstanding the huge pressure in his heart. The ancient rune circle flashed. A burst of golden light appeared on the ground, interweaving into thousands of mysterious lines, interweaving into a mysterious rune circle. The lines resonated with each other, especially the ancient rune in the middle that represented imprisonment. It shone brightly, emitting thousands of platinum light rays, forming a giant net, pulling the Scarlet Emperor's giant golden hand back into the seal circle. The Scarlet Concubine didn't dare to get close to the golden ancient seal circle. She stretched out her hand towards the Scarlet Emperor, trying to pull him back, who knew that the Scarlet Emperor's hand would be pulled back. The coquettish Scarlet Concubine screamed in sorrow, but there was nothing she could do. Just when Shun Tion's heart relaxed, thinking that it was a good thing that the Scarlet Emperor couldn't break through the seal, he suddenly saw that within the ancient rune circle, 18 energy fountains continuously erupted. Each energy fountain was more than 1 meter in diameter. The rubble that was caused by the earthquake or the mercenaries who lost control would immediately turn into nothingness as soon as they were hit by the energy light pillars. The dome, as if a machine gun had strafed the roof, immediately had more than 10 skylights that leaked light. Shun Tian was speechless. With his strength, it wasn't difficult for him to shoot out the energy light pillars. Even shooting out 3 consecutive shots like shooting an arrow was his specialty. However, shooting out 18 energy light pillars consecutively, he really didn't have the ability to do so. What was more difficult was that the Scarlet Emperor had previously released 18 consecutive shots in order to break through the seal. Just from this alone, it seemed that the gap between him and the Scarlet Emperor was already completely not within the same level. Boom! A loud sound was heard, and the giant golden hand once again stretched out from the ancient rune circle. After the 18 consecutive energy light pillars, the power of the seal circle was greatly reduced, and the golden light dimmed. Only the ancient rune imprisonment still had a net-like light ray that dragged the Scarlet Emperor's giant hand, and its power didn't decrease at all. The Scarlet Emperor took advantage of the fact that the power of the seal circle had decreased by half, and stretched out his second hand. The Scarlet Concubine was ecstatic as she pulled his giant golden hand, and tears streamed down her face. Yu Yang was extremely nervous. The star explosion condensed in his hands had already lost control and exploded. Every bit of starlight had been compressed 100 times, and had already reached a level that even Yu Yang couldn't endure. As long as Shun Tian, the Black Prince, and the Scarlet Concubine casually glanced around, they would be able to discover the danger. Luckily, everyone was deeply attracted by the Scarlet Emperor's action of breaking through the seal circle, and no one noticed the abnormality of Yu Yang. "Come out, my lover, my emperor!" The Scarlet Concubine was screaming. Her excitement and joy had almost crushed her willpower. 6,000 years had passed, and her lover had reappeared in front of her. How could she not be happy? However, Shun Tian and the Black Prince's thoughts were spinning rapidly. Both of them realized that the Scarlet Emperor was really too strong, and helping him like this was like inviting a wolf into the house. Compared to Ji Zun, who didn't care about anything, the Scarlet Emperor might be a bigger threat to them. However, the Scarlet Emperor was already about to break through the seal, and it was too late for regrets. Black hair, golden eyes, sharp eyebrows, and jade-like lips, a devilishly handsome man appeared in front of everyone. Although only half of his body was revealed, that perfect and flawless body, that unparalleled vast energy, as well as the arrogance that surpassed all living beings in the world, had sufficiently revealed this man's identity. He was the unparalleled rancor of 6,000 years. The Scarlet Emperor. "My beloved, don't cry. Move aside, let me out first." The Scarlet Emperor caressed the Scarlet Concubine's fiery hair, and tried his best to push against the ancient rune circle with both hands, attempting to make a final dash to break free from the ancient rune circle. The ancient rune confinement shone with a platinum brilliance, and a net-like light forcefully dragged the Scarlet Emperor back bit by bit. At the same time, the entire seal circle exploded with power, and once again sealed the fugitive. The Scarlet Emperor resisted with all his might, and his shouts were earth-shattering. The evil dragon lair was almost shattered by these two enormous energies. Not to mention the ordinary mercenaries, even innates like Silverhorn, Fire Spitter, and Hurricane felt a suffocating dizziness. The ordinary mercenaries, who were below level 7 Overlord, had already fainted. Some of them were even bleeding from their 7 apertures, and were on the verge of death. Yu Yang crouched on the ground, like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain, and was accumulating his energy for the last time. This star explosion, energy in his hands had already expanded to more than 3 meters and was on the verge of losing control and self-destructing. However, Yu Yang still felt that it was not enough and was still gathering energy crazily. Darkblade, who was suffocating and struggling to defend, suddenly realized that something was wrong with Yu Yang. His pupils immediately dilated. Shock. As an excellent thief with sharp senses, he could almost immediately smell the huge hidden killing intent from Yu Yang's body. Once it exploded, he believed that it would be like a volcano that would shake the heavens and the earth. Darkblade turned pale with fright. This weird masked man actually wanted to assassinate someone. Was it Shun Tian, the Black Prince, or Silverhorn? Could this brat's real target be the Scarlet Emperor? When Darkblade thought of this, he was immediately scared silly and almost fainted on the ground. He used all his strength to control himself from screaming. Someone is causing trouble here. With just one sentence, he could make this brat's attack completely fail. Darkblade knew that he still had the strength to escape after sending out this warning. After that, the Scarlet Concubine would definitely reward him with a lot of money. However, he didn't know why, but Darkblade actually gave up the temptation of this reward. Maybe it was because the power displayed by the Scarlet Emperor was too terrifying, or maybe it was because this brat wearing the golden mask performance made him curious. Of course, more importantly, Darkblade felt that he might have already gone crazy, because he realized that not only did he not send out the warning, but he also stood in front of Yu Yang, filling the gap left by an elite member who fell to the ground, and covered Yu Yang's body in the flash of the star explosion. Darkblade was so scared that his whole body trembled. He knew that he was courting death by doing this. If Shun Tian, the Black Prince, and the rest were to find out, he would definitely die a horrible death. However, what was even weirder was that not only did he not retreat in front of Yu Yang, but he also used all the energy in his body to explode with the power of a lesser innate, trying his best to use his aura to cover Yu Yang's energy condensation. I'm finished. I must have gone crazy. Darkblade felt that there must be something wrong with his mind. He completely didn't understand why he still wanted to help this brat at such a dangerous moment. Wasn't this courting death? He couldn't find the answer in his heart. Just when Darkblade thought that he was going to be scared out of his wits and become a lunatic, Yu Yang moved. He was 100 times faster than lightning. With the momentum of a ferocious tiger, he raised the ball of star explosion that was like the Milky Way and smashed it heavily on the Scarlet Emperor, who was still fighting with the ancient seal. This change made everyone dumbfounded. Only one person collapsed to the ground, and that was Darkblade, who had covered for Yu Yang for more than 10 seconds. To Darkblade, every second was equivalent to suffering in hell. Almost at the same time, when Yu Yang's star explosion hit the Scarlet Emperor, the Scarlet Concubine pounced on Yu Yang crazily, her scarlet lotus fire hitting the back of Yu Yang's head. On the other side, Shun Tian and the Black Prince attacked at the same time. Shun Tian, who possessed the power of 5 transformations, punched angrily towards Yu Yang's back, where his heart was located. There was also the shadow-like Black Prince, whose claws were ignited with green phosphorus ghost fire as he clawed towards Yu Yang's sides. No matter which hit, it could kill any warrior below innate level 6 in a second. Die! Yu Yang shouted crazily. He didn't defend at all. Instead, he exploded, went berserk, and used all his strength to attack the Scarlet Emperor. At the moment when the Scarlet Lotus Fire, 5 transformations fist, and green phosphorus ghost fire hit his body, Yu Yang released the star explosion with both of his hands. The world exterminating wheel in his left hand and the fire blade formed by Nirvana flame in his right hand completely disregarded his back as he continued to slash towards the Scarlet Emperor, who was hit by the attack. It was as if he wanted to perish together with the Scarlet Emperor. Chapter 414. Even in his weakened state, the Scarlet Emperor was at least a level 10 innate. If it wasn't for the ancient seal imprisoning half of his body and forcefully pulling him back into the sealed space, the Scarlet Emperor would have no choice but to use most of his strength to resist the seal. If it wasn't for this, the Scarlet Emperor would not have let Yu Yang's sneak attack succeed. Even if Yu Yang did a sneak attack, he wouldn't have been injured. Even with his remaining strength, compared to Yu Yang's current strength, he still had a great advantage. If it was someone else, the Scarlet Emperor could completely ignore it. With just a punch, the attacker would be sent flying and fall to the ground. The problem was, Yu Yang was a super strong attacker. It would be more appropriate to describe Yu Yang as strong in attack, but weak in defense. It wasn't that Yu Yang wasn't good at defense. The mysterious 3 styles, crystal armor, nirvana flame shield, camouflage, teleportation, and binding chains were all combined together. Regardless of whether it was movement or defense, Yu Yang far surpassed warriors of the same level. However, compared to his attack, Yu Yang's defense was much weaker. This was because his attack was way too strong. Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel, any one of them was a killing weapon that could instantly kill someone a higher level. Not to mention the innate invisible sword chi that could kill anyone and even gods. Ever since Yu Yang had started using his sword chi, he had only tried to miss, but he had never tried to miss. The innate sword chi that could break through all defenses in the world. Even the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm had no choice but to dodge it. Other than Nirvana Flame, World Exterminating Wheel, and innate invisible sword chi, Yu Yang also had the Heaven Eyes divine vision that could see through everything and the power of star explosion that was like the Milky Way. He even had the Devour hidden in his body that could digest all kinds of energy. With all these added together, as a single target attack, it was like a bug. It was an unprecedented and unparalleled existence. This kind of comparison made Yu Yang's defense seem weak. It was also because he had so many attacks that Yu Yang was confident that he could heavily injure the Scarlet Emperor. As long as the Scarlet Emperor was injured, the ancient seal would drag him back into the sealed space. He didn't ask for much. As long as he could seal the Scarlet Emperor for another 10 or 20 years, Yu Yang would have the power to suppress the Scarlet Emperor like the Prison Emperor back then. He would be able to eat this arrogant fellow alive. Of course, this was all just a theory. In reality, things would never go as planned. The Scarlet Emperor, who was trying his best to break free from the ancient seal with both his hands, immediately retaliated when Yu Yang's star explosion hit him. His speed was so fast that Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince's movements became slow, while Silverhorn, Spitfire, and Hurricane's reactions became as slow as a snail's. Almost at the same time, his palm pressed on Yu Yang's chest. Boom! A silver light burst out like a silver plate, followed by a beam of energy that was more than a meter in diameter. At this moment, Yu Yang's World Exterminating Wheel and Nirvana Fireblade had just been unleashed. If the Scarlet Emperor could move, even if he moved 3 meters back, Yu Yang would definitely die tragically. The ancient seal became Yu Yang's greatest helper. It imprisoned the Scarlet Emperor so that he couldn't move at all. The Scarlet Emperor's other hand drew a long silver arc of light that cut through the air. It rotated and streaked across, as if it was going to cut Yu Yang in half. After the silver arc of light was drawn, the Scarlet Emperor could still stretch out his hands calmly and block Yu Yang's attack with his silver hands. What was reflected in the Scarlet Emperor's golden eyes was the World Exterminating Wheel that cut through the energy beam, while the other Nirvana Fireblade cut through the silver arc of light and pierced towards the Scarlet Emperor's heart. The Scarlet Emperor's golden eyes widened in shock. He never thought that there would be such a pervert in this world who could actually possess the World Exterminating Wheel and Nirvana Fire at the same time. Just now, he had covered his eyes with a Milky Way star explosion. Furthermore, it was just 1/100th of a second. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Yu Yang resisted the energy beam with all his might. The crystal armor in front of his chest shattered, and the wyvern leather armor turned into ashes. As the Scarlet Emperor retracted his hand, the World Exterminating Wheel cut through his arm, leaving a long trail of blood. The World Exterminating Wheel heavily cut through the Scarlet Emperor's unprotected chest. The Scarlet Emperor's reaction was extremely fast. He twisted his body and tried to dodge this fatal attack. However, the Nirvana Fireblade was even faster than the World Exterminating Wheel. It had already cut through the silver arc of light and cut into the Scarlet Emperor's chest from his left rib. If the Scarlet Emperor turned his body sideways, he would immediately be cut into half. The Scarlet Emperor's body suddenly turned soft like a noodle as he bent backwards. It was fast and ingenious. Although the world-exterminating wheel had already cut into his chest, after he bent backwards, the world-exterminating wheel lost its target. It could only injure the Scarlet Emperor and not kill him. On the other side, the Nirvana Fire Blade also cut a deep wound on the Scarlet Emperor's chest, but was unable to pierce through his heart. Die! Yu Yang stepped heavily on the Scarlet Emperor's waist before he was sent flying by the energy beam. Innate invisible sword chi exploded. The lethality of this sword chi was no less than the world-exterminating wheel and the Nirvana Fire Blade. Furthermore, it was more hidden, faster, and more effective. With a chi sound, the innate sword chi had already shot out from the toe that Yu Yang used to step on the Scarlet Emperor's chest. It entered the Scarlet Emperor's chest and went straight for his heart. The Scarlet Emperor could only use his special ability to forcefully move his heart away, but he was unable to stop the innate sword chi from wreaking havoc. At the same time, the Scarlet Emperor's lungs and back were pierced by the innate sword chi. It was only at this moment that the Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince's attacks arrived. The Scarlet Lotus Fire fiercely hit the back of Yu Yang's head. Because of the Scarlet Emperor's energy jet power, Yu Yang's body was slightly slanted when he was sent flying. The Scarlet Lotus Fire's attack didn't manage to make Yu Yang's head explode. Instead, it made him spin. After the crystal armor was destroyed, Yu Yang still relied on the mysterious Three Styles elegant sword dance to save his life. With it, he could dodge and deftly defend against most of the attacks. The Black Prince's green phosphorus ghost fire clawed at Yu Yang's back fiercely. His sharp claws tore open 5 wounds on Yu Yang's back. The ghost fire that came into contact with Yu Yang's body was burning fiercely. As long as the energy was not used up, it would never be extinguished. However, what made Yu Yang suffer the most was still Shun Tian's 5 transformation fist. In the sky, the image of the golden giant dragon and the golden mammoth flashed behind Shun Tian. This was one of the 5 transformation powers, the strength of the dragon and elephant. One strike of the strength of the dragon and elephant contained the combined power of the dragon and elephant. The golden fist accurately hit Yu Yang's back, heavily hitting the position of his heart. Even if Yu Yang had a strong defense, he still felt that his heart stopped beating, as if his whole body was going to explode. Puff! Yu Yang's body flew forward and blood spurted out from his mouth. The Scarlet Emperor, who took a hit from Yu Yang's sword, straightened his body at lightning speed. The Scarlet Emperor, whose head was hit by the star explosion, was in so much pain that his handsome face was distorted. There were deep intersecting wounds and bloody holes on his chest. This was the killing effect caused by the world-exterminating wheel, Nirvana Fire Blade, and innate sword chi. If it was another rancor, he would have fallen to the ground long ago. But the Scarlet Emperor still had the strength to fight back. Good lad. The Scarlet Emperor's silver fists instantly turned into thousands of shooting stars, raining down on Yu Yang's body. Bang, 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 bang. The raindrop-like attacks all hit their target. Not a single one missed. At least 3 of Yu Yang's ribs were broken. His chest was already badly mutilated due to the Scarlet Emperor's fists and the energy light pillar. A Nirvana Fire Spear was thrown out from Yu Yang's hands and pierced deeply into the Scarlet Emperor's shoulder. If not for the Scarlet Emperor's extreme speed, it would have pierced through his heart. The Scarlet Emperor had never seen such a perverted and stubborn young man in his life. Why did he have to kill him? A young man like him had a bright future ahead of him. Why did he risk his life to attack him? The Scarlet Emperor couldn't understand this at all. However, he wasn't slow in his attacks. He quickly retracted his hands and formed dozens of rune circles. Finally, he pointed at the space between Yu Yang's eyebrows. With this attack, Yu Yang was in midair and couldn't avoid it. He would definitely die. The Scarlet Emperor didn't deny that he was curious about this young man who was trying to kill him, but it didn't stop him from killing him. No matter who was the Scarlet Emperor's enemy, there was only one ending: death. If there was an exception, it would be the Prison Emperor, because the Prison Emperor was much stronger and more tyrannical than the Scarlet Emperor. Although the Scarlet Emperor hated the Prison Emperor, he couldn't do anything to him. The fresh blood that Yu Yang spat out spilled onto the ancient ceiling circle. A burst of golden light was as bright as the sun. The ancient rune imprisonment seemed to be supported by an extremely strong energy. Spinning rapidly, the web-like light forcefully dragged the Scarlet Emperor's body into the ancient ceiling circle. In the blink of an eye, only his chest and abdomen were left outside of the ancient ceiling circle. Because his body was sinking, the Scarlet Emperor's fatal attack brushed past Yu Yang's cheek, easily leaving a mark on the Gemini mask. If it was just a little bit more, Yu Yang's head would have exploded. The Scarlet Emperor's golden pupils expanded rapidly as he stared at Yu Yang angrily. The reason why the Scarlet Emperor was angry was not that the enemy had dodged his fatal attack. What really made the Scarlet Emperor furious was the fresh blood that Yu Yang spat out. It was obvious that this brat had already planned to use this fresh blood to stimulate the ancient ceiling circle, causing it to explode with energy and drag his body down, making his attack ineffective. The Scarlet Emperor felt a sense of humiliation from being fooled by the enemy. If he could move freely now, the Scarlet Emperor would definitely chase after this sly brat for thousands of miles. No matter what price he had to pay, he would definitely kill him. But now, even though the Scarlet Emperor was filled with anger, he had no choice but to use half of his strength to support the ancient ceiling circle. The other finger pointed towards Yu Yang's direction. The energy light pillar, once again, exploded like a fountain. Behind Yu Yang, the Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince attacked together for the second time. This time, the three of them had more time to react and accumulate energy. When they attacked again, it would definitely not be the same as before. The power would definitely be many times stronger. With Yu Yang's injured body, he might not be able to take another hit. If it was anyone else in this world, they would escape immediately after fighting to this extent. Shun Tian and the Black Prince both had the intention to let Yu Yang go, because if they let this brat be the Scarlet Emperor's opponent, the Scarlet Emperor would definitely not burn the bridge after crossing it. Instead, he would always have scruples, which was extremely beneficial to them. Even the Scarlet Concubine had the intention to end the battle. Although she hated Yu Yang, the attacker, she did not wish for Yu Yang to fight to the death. She only wanted the Scarlet Emperor to safely escape from the seal. As long as her lover successfully escaped, everything else was not a problem. Attacker? They could kill him in the future, but they definitely could not let him die together with his lover now. Even the Scarlet Emperor thought that the battle was over. This sly brat would definitely take the opportunity to escape without a trace. However, everyone was wrong. Not only did Yu Yang not escape, he even charged towards the Scarlet Emperor. He was like a mad bull with bloodshot eyes, charging towards the Scarlet Emperor at lightning speed. He forcefully charged out from the energy light pillar. At the moment when the attacking fist was caught by the Scarlet Emperor, Yu Yang's body leaned forward and smashed his head onto the Scarlet Emperor's face savagely. Boom! Two terrifying innate powers collided with each other. The Scarlet Emperor howled in pain. When the Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince joined hands to attack his back, Yu Yang, whose Gemini mask was almost shattered, suddenly laughed. His face was covered with blood, and his body was covered with cuts and bruises. His laughter was extremely strange. His other hand, at this moment, he was holding the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, completely ignoring the three people's joint attack. With a suicidal stance, he disregarded everything and smashed it heavily onto the Scarlet Emperor's head. At this moment, Shun Tian and the Black Prince's surprised cries, the Scarlet Concubine's sorrowful cries, and the Scarlet Emperor's painful howls erupted at the same time. Only Yu Yang laughed silently. His unique mocking smile was revealed from the depths of his eyes, shining brightly. Chapter 415. The Prison Emperor Divine Seal was the treasure that once sealed Jiu Shao. It was one of the 3 divine equipment that inherited the Prison Emperor's will. The Scarlet Emperor's expression changed immediately. His whole body trembled. His right hand, that was originally supporting the ancient seal, was raised high. He gathered all his strength and raised both of his hands, trying his best to remove the Prison Emperor Divine Seal that was smashing on his head. The small Prison Emperor Divine Seal was as heavy as a mountain, causing the Scarlet Emperor's hands and spine to creak. His body kept sinking. What was even more terrifying was that the Prison Emperor's image appeared in the sky. It was an image formed completely by energy and will. He swung his sun-like golden fist down, suppressing the Scarlet Emperor even more. Even without the ancient seal, just the Prison Emperor Divine Seal alone was enough to make the Scarlet Emperor suffer. When the Scarlet Emperor was at his weakest, Yu Yang attacked without caring about his own safety and finally managed to turn the situation around. Yu Yang's biggest wish was to reseal the Scarlet Emperor. The moment the Scarlet Concubine's Scarlet Lotus Fire hit Yu Yang, she immediately retracted it. Compared to killing the enemy, she had a more important mission, which was to save her lover. When the Prison Emperor Divine Seal appeared, she knew that it was her lover's greatest enemy. If she didn't help him, he would be in great danger. The Scarlet Concubine cried out in sorrow. She rushed towards the Prison Emperor Divine Seal without caring about her own safety. Even if she had to sacrifice her own life, she would help her lover remove this suppressing divine equipment. The green phosphorus ghost fire and the draconic elephant's power heavily landed on Yu Yang's back. If it wasn't for the fact that the 2 of them were afraid that the Prison Emperor Divine Seal would endanger their lives and forcefully retracted most of their power to defend themselves, Yu Yang would have been heavily injured and fallen to the ground. The green phosphorus ghost fire burned on Yu Yang's entire back. His skin and flesh were sizzling from the heat. Shun Tian's strength of the dragon and elephant divine fist almost shattered Yu Yang's heart. Yu Yang's shoulder bones cracked under the bombardment, and his ribs were twisted and deformed. When the Scarlet Lotus Fire hit the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, it didn't have any effect on the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, even though it could easily burn rocks. The Scarlet Lotus Fire that could shake the earth couldn't even move the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Yu Yang borrowed the strength of the draconic elephant and pounced towards the Scarlet Concubine at the same time. With 3 consecutive kicks, he transferred the Scarlet Emperor's fist aura and the green phosphorus ghost fire's claw aura onto the Scarlet Emperor's body. At this moment, he did not forget to hit the Scarlet Emperor when he was down, hoping that his attack could be the last straw that broke the camel's back. Roar! The Scarlet Emperor roared like thunder. With a shake of his body, a silver light burst out like a fountain, sending Yu Yang flying. Shun and the Black Prince didn't attack Yu Yang. Instead, he allowed Yu Yang to fly and smash into the stone wall. They didn't know if the Scarlet Emperor could hold on. If the Scarlet Emperor was defeated, there was no need for them to keep their promise. Scarlet Concubine realized that whatever she did was futile. In a moment of desperation, she raised her hands and prepared to take the Prison Emperor Divine Seal for the Scarlet Emperor. Even if she fell into the ancient sealing circle, she wouldn't stop. My lovely, the Scarlet Emperor didn't allow her to do that, because she definitely couldn't take the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Let me help you. I'm fine. Scarlet Concubine's face was full of tears. She reached out her hands and prepared to take the Prison Emperor Divine Seal for the Scarlet Emperor, even if it was just for a second. Under the double pressure of the Prison Emperor Divine Seal and the ancient sealing circle, the Scarlet Emperor couldn't use his abilities no matter how powerful he was. His body sunk down bit by bit, first to his stomach, then to his chest, and finally only his head and arms were left. Scarlet Concubine bent down and wanted to carry the Prison Emperor Divine Seal to let her lover escape. Yu Yang flew out from the broken rocks. He kept his world-exterminating wheel and flew over, disregarding his heavy injuries. Shun Tian hesitated for a second. There were 2 paths in front of him. One was to stop him, the other was to watch. With his and the Black Prince's abilities, it wasn't difficult to stop the current Yu Yang. However, Shun Tian didn't really want the Scarlet Emperor to escape from the ancient sealing circle. He didn't like Yu Yang, the young threat, and also didn't like the Scarlet Emperor, the powerful senior from 6,000 years ago. He only hoped that the two of them would fight to the death. It would be best to watch from his side, but Yu Yang wouldn't be grateful to him, and he would anger the Scarlet Emperor. It would be fine if the Scarlet Emperor was sealed again, but if he managed to escape, he would definitely settle the score with him later. There was another way, and that was to help Yu Yang kill the Scarlet Emperor. Shun Tian wasn't sure if the Black Prince would cooperate with him like before to kill the Scarlet Emperor and then kill the Scarlet Concubine. He rejected this option among the important choices in his life. Wind and thunder. Shun Tian decided to stop them, but secretly let Yu Yang go. He hoped that this brat would work harder and kill the Scarlet Emperor. Sky Demon Finger. The Black Prince also prepared to use his ultimate skill. Yu Yang dodged their attacks in a flash. He completely ignored the situation of the two of them attacking him. The world exterminating wheel slashed downwards, and this time it went straight for the Scarlet Concubine's neck. Shun Tian's Wind and Thunder Star fist exploded and directly attacked the back of Yu Yang's head. He noticed that the Scarlet Emperor's body seemed to have some kind of change and knew that it wasn't good. He immediately changed his strategy and attacked Yu Yang with all his might. The Black Prince was even faster. He shot out a pitch-black energy beam from his finger and went straight for Yu Yang's heart. Yu Yang was like a swimming fish. He dodged behind the Scarlet Concubine and went around the Scarlet Emperor, who was holding the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. He waved his hand. An innate sword chi shot out from his two index fingers. The Scarlet Emperor pulled the Scarlet Concubine's calf with one hand and pulled her down to the ground, allowing her to escape the fatal slash of the world-exterminating wheel. His other hand reached out from the innate sword chi and pressed towards Yu Yang. When Yu Yang shot out his sword chi, he realized that there was an irresistible force strangling his throat. His whole body was thrown into the sky, and he faced the pincer attack of Shun Tian and the Black Prince. The Scarlet Emperor let go of the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, and it smashed heavily on his forehead. Fresh blood splattered. His skull was shattered. The Scarlet Emperor, who was bleeding from all 7 of his orifices, glared angrily. His golden eyes quickly gathered energy, and they shone brightly like 2 golden stars. 2 rays of golden light shot out from his eyes. Yu Yang was shocked, and he hurriedly adjusted his body in midair. However, the speed of the golden light was too fast, and it still pierced through Yu Yang's arm and right leg. If he didn't adjust his body, these 2 rays of golden light would definitely pierce through his heart and head. After the golden light passed, Shun Tian's Wind and Thunderstar Fist and the Black Prince's Sky Demon Finger finally arrived. With a combined attack, Yu Yang would definitely die. Behind Yu Yang, a little Lamia lowly appeared in a flash. Her eyes were wide open, and her pupils were so strong that even the veins at the corner of her eyes, which were usually invisible, were bulging. Shun Tian and the Black Prince froze in midair at the same time. The Wind and Thunder Star Fist and Sky Demon Finger lost control of their master and hit the little lowly's body uncontrollably. Out of the 6 arms that received the fatal blow, 3 were broken by the Wind and Thunderstar Fist, and one of them was pierced through from the palm to the shoulder by the Sky Demon Finger. She even stretched out her hand behind her back to receive the remaining force. As long as she was here, no one would be able to kill Yu Yang, because she was Yu Yang's guardian beast. She wasn't his daughter, but her existence surpassed that of a daughter. She was Little Wenli. Wrapping her tail around Yu Yang's body, Little Wenli quickly escaped with Yu Yang. If this battle continued, the Scarlet Emperor might die, but Yu Yang would definitely die. Shun Tian was slightly stunned. Didn't the rules of this prison grounds forbid summoning of beasts? How could this brat's guardian beast come out? He didn't think that Little Wenli rarely stayed in the grimoire space and only hibernated in Yu Yang's body. If it wasn't for Yu Yang's insistence to not let her participate in the battle, she would have come out long ago. Want to leave? The Scarlet Emperor only had his head and arms outside. One of his hands held the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, and the other pointed forward a few times. Boom, 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 boom. Numerous energy pillars erupted below and in front of Little One like a fountain, completely blocking her and Yu Yang's path. Little One Li swung her tail, but as if she had planned it beforehand, she flung Yu Yang back onto the Scarlet Emperor's head. Yu Yang stretched out his right hand, and the sword chi from his 5 fingers converged into his strongest sword, piercing through the Scarlet Emperor's skull that was already cracked by the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. The Scarlet Emperor howled miserably as his entire body sank into the seal, leaving only his arms outside. The Scarlet Concubine was like a lunatic as she scratched at Yu Yang's body. Yu Yang's body was already riddled with wounds, and his flesh was badly mutilated. He didn't care about adding a few more wounds as he took the opportunity to slash at the Scarlet Emperor's arms when he retracted his world-exterminating wheel. Even though the Scarlet Emperor's left hand retracted into the ancient seal in time, his right hand that was supporting the Prison Emperor Divine Seal couldn't avoid it. The world-exterminating wheel slashed into the Scarlet Emperor's right arm, causing a bright light to shine. The power of the immemorial rune in the middle immediately exploded. Even though the Scarlet Emperor's right arm had a strong defense, it was still severed by the spinning slash. The silver light armor that was comparable to the crystal armor was completely useless under the spinning slash of the world-exterminating wheel. When Yu Yang saw the Scarlet Emperor falling into the ancient seal again, he immediately kept his severed arm and the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. When the Scarlet Concubine attacked him, he spat out a mouthful of blood towards the immemorial rune in the ancient seal. He endured the pain and jumped up. He risked his life to shoot out the innate sword chi towards the Black Prince and Shun Tian. The Black Prince and Shun Tian knew that they couldn't withstand this kind of sword chi. The pain from last time had tortured them for a long time. Under such circumstances, they definitely wouldn't fight recklessly. Moreover, the Scarlet Emperor had already been sealed back into the ancient seal by Yu Yang. It was still hard to say if he could escape again. Hence, this was definitely not the time to fight with Yu Yang with his life. The two of them dodged, and easily dodged the two innate sword chi. The Scarlet Concubine pounced forward crazily. She wanted to fight with Yu Yang with her life now. She shot out a huge scarlet lotus in desperation, wanting to perish together with Yu Yang. Scram! While Little One Li froze the Scarlet Concubine again, Yu Yang sent her flying with a kick. When Yu Yang carried Little One Li, whose eyes were filled with tears of blood, and prepared to escape from the evil dragon lair, Silverhorn, Spitfire, and Hurricane, who had been watching silently all this while made their move. Silverhorn escaped towards the exit at the first instance. In this battle, no matter who won or lost, Silverhorn felt that he wouldn't benefit from it. In order not to be silenced at the end, Silverhorn abandoned his companions and chose to escape. However, Spitfire felt that this was an opportunity to express goodwill to Shun Tian and the Black Prince. As long as they could stop this heavily injured masked man, their future would be bright. From Spitfire's point of view, Yu Yang was severely injured and on the verge of death. Not to mention himself, even if a baby punched him, this brat might also collapse. Boom! When Spitfire, who was sneaking an attack, was full of confidence that he could defeat Yu Yang and obtain great merits. Suddenly, behind him, Hurricane gave a punch with all his might, hitting Spitfire's back and smashing his good friend into the stone wall on the opposite side. Hurricane, who was merely a level 2 innate, shouted at Yu Yang with great heroism, "Leave quickly. Even if it's only for a second, I will block the enemy for you. Although I don't understand why you want to do this, I believe that you have your reasons. Tongtian Tower needs young people like you." Spitfire flew back at a speed faster than when he was smashed into the stone wall, returning a heavy punch to Hurricane's chest. With a ferocious face, he roared, "Puffed! Don't think that you are a savior. You idiot, you can't even defeat me." Hurricane vomited blood, but he held on to Spitfire tightly and shouted at Yu Yang, "Go! I'm already old. Let me sacrifice myself proudly for the young. I'll fulfill your wish." His good friend in the past had turned into a ferocious demon, spit fire through punches like rain, hitting Hurricane until he vomited blood. Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince ignored their actions. The three of them only stared at Yu Yang and the pale little one Li. They didn't understand why this brat gave up the chance to escape just now. Could it be that he was soft-hearted because someone sacrificed themselves? Or did he have a conspiracy? Although the three of them hated Yu Yang to the core, no one dared to be careless. After all, Yu Yang had a divine weapon. Without paying a price, it was impossible to kill this brat. The three of them hoped to kill this brat at the lowest price, especially Shun Tian and the Black Prince. They didn't want to be the second sacrifice after the Scarlet Emperor. Shun Tian, Black Prince, today's hatred, I will return it to you 100-fold in the future. Yu Yang opened his hands. The Nirvana flame turned into a fire bow, and the extreme cold ice and purple lightning turned into arrows. One bow, 3 arrows. The bow was round, and the arrows pointed to the sky. Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince immediately had the illusion that they were being locked by someone's chi. It seemed that no matter where they escaped to, they wouldn't be able to escape from the arrow piercing through their hearts. Shun Tian snorted with a serious expression. The 5 transformations' power exploded, and the aura emitted from his body shook the entire evil dragon lair. The Black Prince disappeared as if he was invisible. Although Scarlet Concubine's face was filled with grief and indignation, she didn't lose her rationality. Her feet danced lightly, as if she was dancing on a lotus leaf. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yu Yang loosened his hand, and 3 consecutive arrows pierced through the air. In the blink of an eye, they were already in front of them. Break! Shun Tian forcefully used his fist to deflect the arrows piercing through their hearts. The Black Prince and Scarlet Concubine dodged the arrows by a hair's breadth. Return! Yu Yang waved his hand, and the 3 purple lightning cold ice arrows turned around and shot back. This time, Shun Tian and the others dodged it even more easily, dodging the arrows effortlessly. The 3 arrows dispersed in midair. One of the arrows hit the wings of the talking scarlet dragon and froze it instantly. Layers of frost appeared on its body, especially the wing that was hit by the arrow. It completely sank into the ice wall. The other arrow hit the scarlet dragon that still couldn't speak and directly pierced through its heart, killing it. The fallen corpse immediately froze into a scarlet dragon ice sculpture. The 3rd arrow whistled across the sky. It accurately nailed Fire Breath's head. His head exploded, and his entire head was sliced open. Hurricane, who fell on the ground, rolled rapidly. Blood spurted out from Fire Breath's neck and dripped onto the ground, turning into ice shards. It was as if a large area of the ground was also frozen. The evil dragon lair had turned into an icy hell filled with cold air. This was the power of Yu Yang's 3 arrows. After the 3 arrows, Yu Yang glanced at Shun Tian and the Black Prince. He carried little one Li and flew towards the entrance of the evil dragon lair at lightning speed. Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince rushed over at a much faster speed. However, when the 3 of them saw the treasure that appeared in Yu Yang's hands, they immediately retreated. That wasn't the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. With Yu Yang's current injuries and remaining innate chi, it wasn't enough to activate the Prison Emperor Divine Seal again. However, he still had a frightening treasure, Demon's Subduing Tower. This was a treasure that had been sealed in the Dixia Kingdom's treasury for many years. Its sealing power was probably not weaker than the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Even a Demon King-level ranker wouldn't be able to escape from the Demon Subduing Tower's imprisonment. Although the 3 of them doubted whether Yu Yang had the ability to use it, no one was willing to take the risk, especially when there was a little Lamia Lolita in his arms who was good at binding. The power of this combination was definitely not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. One day, Scarlet Concubine clenched her teeth in hatred. However, She had no way to kill her enemy now, because she knew that she was actually injured by the prison emperor Divine Seal just now. Her internal injuries were already exhausted. Just now, she had no choice but to give chase. Her purpose was to deceive Shun Tian and the Black Prince. If the two of them saw that she was weak, they might have bad intentions. Yu Yang also fought until he had no innate chi left. He looked relaxed, but in reality, he was seriously injured and on the verge of death. If the three of them were to chase after him, he would definitely die. After Shun Tian and the Black Prince looked at each other, their eyes flickered. Both of them were unwilling to take the risk and gave up the last chance to kill Yu Yang and the Scarlet Concubine. If the two of them were sure that the other party would cooperate and work together, then Yu Yang and the Scarlet Concubine wouldn't be able to escape death. It was a pity that the two of them had ulterior motives and each had their own plans. They missed a great opportunity. Less than a minute after Yu Yang left, the ancient ceiling circle on the ground shook again, from extremely light to intense. In the end, the ground shook and the mountains shook. A silver hand reached out from the ceiling circle. Then, under everyone's dumbfounded gaze, the Scarlet Emperor, who was severely injured but still elegant, came out from the ceiling circle. His body was covered with cuts and bruises. One of his right hands was broken. Fresh blood dyed his naked body into a bloody man. Scarlet Concubine's tears fell like rain as she hugged her lover and cried loudly. "Don't cry, my dear, don't cry." The Scarlet Emperor used his remaining left hand to gently stroke the Scarlet Concubine's fiery hair. His golden eyes looked towards Shun Tian and the Black Prince. "Thank you for your help." If the prison Emperor Divine Seal had been suppressed for another minute, there would have been two different results. I will definitely repay the two of you in the future. If you want to step into the Heaven Realm, I can also be your guide. Shun Tian and the Black Prince were extremely regretful. If they knew this would happen, they would have let Yu Yang get rid of the Scarlet Emperor. If they didn't attack Yu Yang, but the Scarlet Concubine, the Scarlet Emperor and the Scarlet Concubine would have died miserably. Unfortunately, they had already missed the best opportunity to kill the Scarlet Emperor. When he recovers to his peak, it would be even more impossible to kill the Scarlet Emperor from 6,000 years ago. Shun Tian and the Black Prince didn't show it on their faces. They bowed respectfully to the Scarlet Emperor and said a few humble words. Being able to exchange for a trip to the Heaven Realm was better than nothing. Although Shun Tian and the Black Prince didn't completely trust the Scarlet Emperor, they could at least be sure that they were safe now. This was because they could see that the Scarlet Emperor had also reached his limit and didn't have the strength to retaliate. "All of you leave. Our matter has nothing to do with you. Bring your companions and leave." The Scarlet Emperor suddenly let the mercenaries go. With a unique, arrogant demeanor, he said to the mercenaries, "Maybe some of you know that young man. Please pass a message to him. I, the Scarlet Emperor, admire him very much. There has never been anyone who could beat me up so badly. If he is willing to be my disciple, I am willing to take him in as my disciple. I can even let him manage everything in the lower realm. If he is not willing to be my disciple, then please pass a message to him. I will exterminate his entire family and leave no one alive." Chapter 416. Once Yu Yang got out of the evil dragon lair, he immediately returned to the grimoire world. Originally, he wanted to summon the Qilin girl and scold her. He had fought with his life on the line, but this girl just stood by and watched. She had no sense of loyalty, let alone the fact that she couldn't come out. She was an immortal beast that could even run amok in the Heaven Realm. What was a mere confinement law to her? Moreover, even if she couldn't come out, she should at least meow at him. But when he returned, he saw the Qilin girl standing in front of him like a little white flower. That lively appearance was simply tempting to commit a crime. "Girl, I'm very angry. The consequences will be very serious," Yu Yang said to the Qilin girl, who went forward to support him. "I wanted to help you, but the Phoenix sisters didn't allow it. Maybe they thought that this was a good chance to train you. Moreover, aren't you fine? Just that your skin can't cover your bones. Don't be angry. I'm also very worried about you. Seeing your injuries makes my heart ache. Come, let me touch you." The Cheeling girl's small white hand pressed lightly on the top of little one Li's head. A rainbow light shone brightly, as beautiful as a rainbow. Little one Li, whose arm was injured, was bathed in the rainbow light. Her injuries recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Her pale face, which was originally exhausted, also became rosy. When little Wen Li's injuries were healed, she was so happy that her eyes turned into crescent moons. Her life force was connected to Yu Yang's, sharing it completely. When Yu Yang was injured, she would also feel pain. Similarly, now that the Cheeling girl had healed little Wen Li, Yu Yang started to feel the pain in his body was alleviated a little. The green phosphorus ghost fire that was burning and worsening on his back quickly shrunk, but it still stubbornly attached to Yu Yang's back. Yu Yang's innate qi was exhausted, and the nirvana flame had to heal the more serious injuries in his body, so he could only put it aside for now. The Scarlet Concubine's Scarlet Lotus Fire was the same. If it wasn't for the fact that Yu Yang had refined his body with the nirvana flame many times, he would have been burnt to ashes long ago. The Scarlet Lotus Fire at the back of his neck was a great help to Yu Yang, who was suffering from severe injuries and was enduring great pain. Otherwise, Yu Yang wouldn't have left the battlefield so easily. As for the attack from Shun Tian's 5 transformations power, it caused the most serious damage to Yu Yang's body. It was even more serious than the Scarlet Emperor's attack on Yu Yang. After all, the Scarlet Emperor still had to split his attention to defend against the Ancient Seal and the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Yu Yang was severely injured. However, to the Cheeling girl, these injuries were too simple. The Red Lotus is not bad. Do you want this annoying will-o'-the-wisp? If you don't want it, I'll destroy it. The Cheeling girl's white orchid-like hand lightly grabbed the back of Yu Yang's neck, just like a mischievous little girl catching a red dragonfly. The Scarlet Lotus Fire that was shockingly hot and could burn everything turned into a beautiful scarlet lotus in her hand. Almost in an instant, the Scarlet Lotus Fire was successfully refined by her. It became a tangible existence, vivid and lifelike. It was no different from a real lotus. It was like fire, but more like a spiritual weapon. The Cheeling girl let go of her hand. The Scarlet Lotus floated in the sky and slowly rotated along with the colorful light on her body. It was so beautiful that no one would be able to tell that it was a terrifying and destructive flame. As for the green phosphorus ghost fire, Yu Yang quickly expressed that he wanted to keep it. What a joke. This was the best thing to replenish Hui Jin's energy. Where else could he find it? If it wasn't for the fact that he wanted to refine the green phosphorus ghost fire, Yu Yang would have already used the nirvana flame to purify it. The green phosphorus ghost fire that Yu Yang couldn't resist after overdrawing his energy was completely ineffective against the Cheeling girl. She lightly grabbed it in her hand and blew a breath of air. The light of energy flashed. That small hand was not only flowing with colorful light, it was also overflowing with fragrance. Even the heavily injured Yu Yang, who had lost a lot of blood, couldn't help but feel refreshed and comfortable after smelling it. The green phosphorus ghost fire was refined by the Cheeling girl to the limit and condensed into a skull with flaming eyes. It was extremely small, probably only the size of a baby's fist. When Yu Yang saw it, he immediately snatched it and quickly kept it in his platinum storage. This thing was too important for Hui Jin Magic Blade to level up. Of course, he didn't have time to use it now. If he could merge it with Hui Jin in the future, Hui Jin's power would definitely increase. The Cheeling girl coquettishly rolled her eyes at him, meaning, who's going to snatch it from you? The Bloody Queen, golden-crowned thorny flower queen, and the barbarian cow Shadow watched quietly from the side. They didn't dare to move forward, afraid that the Cheeling girl would affect the healing of their master, let alone the few of them. Even Sickly Beauty, who had just used the fragrant sleep flower to coax Yu Shuang to sleep, could only wait anxiously. If Yu was here, she might be able to help. However, with the Cheeling girl here, they believed that Yu Yang would definitely be fine. It was just that seeing his body full of injuries made their hearts ache. Luckily, you didn't break your arms or legs, otherwise it would take a lot of effort to recover. Other than healing Yu Yang's injuries, The Qilin girl also softly comforted sickly Beauty and the others. As she spoke, her white jade palm touched Yu Yang's body. Pure energy continuously flowed into Yu Yang's body, causing the dried-up innate qi in his body to once again flow out from his dantian. When sickly Beauty saw that Yu Yang was still pretending to be fine and smiling at her, her eyes reddened and tears almost fell down. She was afraid that tears would bring bad luck, so she hurriedly wiped them away and nodded at him, expressing that she wasn't worried. Instead, she hoped that he wouldn't feel burdened. The light in the Qilin girl's hand became bigger and bigger, finally enveloping Yu Yang entirely. It was visible to the naked eye. All the injuries on Yu Yang's body, including his heart, chest, arms, back, legs, and knees, were all rapidly recovering, especially his heart, which had been hit twice by Shun Tian's 5 transformations. One was Dragon Elephant, and the other was Wind and Thunder. Fortunately, Yu Yang's almost immortal body was able to withstand it. His body had been refined by Nirvana's flame many times, in addition to Little Wen Li's sharing of life. So Yu Yang wasn't worried that he would be killed by Shun Tian's one punch, but it was inevitable that he would be injured. With such serious injuries, without the Qilin girl, relying on Yu Yang's innate qi to recover, he believed that it would take at least 10 days to half a month to fully recover. To completely recover 100% of his battle strength, it was not certain that it would take 10 days to half a month. However, with the Qilin girl's miraculous treatment, in less than 10 minutes, Yu Yang's heavy injuries had already recovered by more than half, almost 80%. External injuries healed faster. His internal injuries were slightly slower, and probably needed Yu Yang to slowly use his innate qi to nourish them. Seeing the Qilin girl's miraculous treatment, sickly Beauty was so moved that she wanted to cry. She covered her cherry lips with her small hands, clenched her teeth, and endured the choking in her throat. Once her injuries were healed, she immediately rushed up and hugged Yu Yang tightly. She did not avoid Red, Duo, Man, and the other guardian beasts who were gradually becoming intelligent. She kissed Yu Yang's cheeks excitedly, and did not avoid him when he hugged and kissed her, but happily returned the kiss. The spirit of Earth Fire watched from afar. As an elemental being, she could not understand the concept of physical injuries. The Qilin girl confidently spread out her hands towards Little Wen Li and shrugged her shoulders. She indicated that these were all small injuries that she could easily heal. Little Wen Li was happy. She jumped onto the Qilin girl's embrace from Yu Yang's body, hugged the Qilin girl, and kissed her, just like how she kissed Yu Yang just now. I don't like children. Forget it. Although the Qilin girl pretended not to care, it was obvious that she liked the closeness of Little Wen Li and the others. After being healed, Yu Yang had already recovered more than half of his battle power. With the Qilin girl around, her life would not be in danger. The battle, just now, could only be considered as enduring a beating. However, the battle experience that Yu Yang gained from the ambush, the endurance that exceeded his own limits, the unparalleled courage that burst forth again and again, the iron blood that was tempered by pain, etc. These were all immeasurable growth in the process of his training. After the ambush against the Scarlet Emperor, Yu Yang had already built up enough confidence and laid the foundation for him to become a supreme ranker. Facing 3 supreme rankers who were stronger than him, facing a terrifying innate from 6,000 years ago, Yu Yang was not afraid at all. He made use of all kinds of terrain and situation, and used all kinds of tactics to heavily injure his opponent. Although he escaped with heavy injuries, in fact, he was the winner today. The prize that Yu Yang won wasn't a treasure, nor was it the Scarlet Emperor's bloody arm. Instead, it was confidence, courage, and willpower, and a future. Don't be so intimate first. The Scarlet Emperor was not sealed successfully. The Qilin girl revealed a secret. What? It can't be. Yu Yang was sweating profusely when he heard this. He saw the Scarlet Emperor being heavily injured and dragged into the sealed space by the ancient seal. He originally thought that the Scarlet Emperor would be sealed underground for at least a few years. He did not expect that his ambush would fail. Could it be that Shun Tian and the Black Prince had some kind of treasure that saved the Scarlet Emperor? Or was the Scarlet Concubine's summoning so powerful that she could summon the Scarlet Emperor again? The Scarlet Emperor was definitely heavily injured. After being attacked by the world-exterminating wheel, Nirvana Flame, and innate sword Chi, and then being smashed by the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Even his skull was cracked, and one of his arms was chopped off. Would he still be able to escape from the ancient seal? Evil Dragon Lair. All of the mercenaries had left. Shun Tian, the Black Prince, and his subordinates Black Flame Dragon, Black Flame Scarlet Dragon, and 2 teams of dragon hunters left one after another. Hurricane bowed to the corpse of his good friend, fire spewing. Seeing that the Scarlet Emperor and Scarlet Concubine were hugging and kissing and had no intention to kill him, he quickly left as well. The evil dragon lair collapsed everywhere, leaving only the Scarlet Emperor and Scarlet Concubine with a broken right arm. After everyone left, the Scarlet Emperor suddenly fell to the ground with a boom. Blood flowed out from his mouth uncontrollably. He was also an arrow at the end of its flight. If it wasn't to dispel Shun Tian and the Black Prince's wariness and forcefully support his body, he would have collapsed long ago. After the repeated attacks from Yu Yang, the Scarlet Emperor felt extremely tired. If that young man was a little stronger, it would be really dangerous. Luckily, Shun Tian and the Black Prince didn't have the courage to join hands to kill the Scarlet Concubine. It wasn't that they weren't strong enough, it was just that they were too suspicious. In the end, they helped the Scarlet Emperor to escape successfully. Let's leave this place quickly and find a place to recuperate. If it's really a Ji Zun rancor, he would be the enemy that we need to be wary of the most. The Scarlet Emperor coughed slightly. With the help of the Scarlet Concubine, he painfully stood up. Your hand! The Scarlet Concubine was crying her eyes out. It's all right. It will grow back with the help of a secret skill and the Sky Crystal. The Scarlet Emperor was severely injured, but he still maintained the arrogance of an emperor. This is a lesson, and also a warning for me to conquer the lower realm. It will remind me never to be careless. My dear concubine, don't worry, I will never let another prison emperor appear. That young man is not bad, but this time I will definitely not let him grow up like the prison emperor and become my rival in life. I'm not too sure how powerful the prison emperor is, but I want to tell you that I'm not the same as him. Yu Yang suddenly appeared in a flash. His eyes were still shining with a unique, sarcastic light. Your injuries have actually recovered? The Scarlet Emperor was shocked when he saw. There's a saying, take your life while you're down. If it's the prison emperor, he might not attack someone who is seriously injured. He is an honorable and proud emperor. However, I'm different from him. I'm a bad guy. Despicable is my nickname. Shameless is my real name. So, I'm sorry, senior who has lived for 6,000 years. Let me send you off. As Yu Yang spoke, the world-exterminating wheel and Nirvana fire spear in his left hand shot out at the same time. His killing intent exploded and soared up to the sky. The second attack began again. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.